So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is BSL Season 6, round of 8, and we will have two excellent matches today. And with me is Mr. Rapid, supercaster from Korea. Welcome, Mr. Rapid.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me once again, Zero. It's fun to cast with you. And the reason we are casting together is because our good friend and BSL commentator, Nyoken, is playing tonight. It's so cool to see casters that still come out to play in tournaments. I travel around Korea with Arctosis to try to qualify for ASL and KSL and stuff like that. And it's cool to see Nyoken kind of doing the same thing, playing in the biggest StarCraft 1 foreigner league in the world.
Oh yeah, that's how big we are. That's how big BSL is. So yeah, nice to have you all watching. We have already 150 people and we didn't start it, so that's really impressive.
Yeah. We had almost 500 viewers last night, so that's actually really impressive. It really helps a lot when you guys go tell your friends or get other people to watch or make other accounts. No, I'm just kidding. But it's, it's really cool to see so many people watching BSL.
Yeah, it's very encouraging to work too for all of us. So yeah, thanks for watching. And today we will start from a match, DragOn versus Nyoken. So and then we will go for Bonyth versus Dandy. So what are your expectations for today?
I think even Nyoken's expectations were that it would be very hard to get to the round of 8, but then he did it, and now his expectations when we were talking about it yesterday were that it would be very hard for him to get to the round of 4, but he keeps doing it. Round of 32, round of 16, and then of course round of 8. He keeps doing it. He keeps telling me he's getting lucky. He keeps saying that he just like has some good builds. I'm just like, well, maybe you're actually a really Gosu player and you're really good. So I'm super biased here. I mean, I cast with Nyoken all the time, and so I really want to see him win. But that's not to take anything away from his opponent, because honestly, like it doesn't. All of the 8 players in the round of 8 for BSL are just amazing. But this BSL round of 8 is actually just so sick, and it's a battle of Americans.
Oh right? Yeah, you are right. We are fighting for the North American champion.
Yeah. So we've got the United States of American player Nyoken versus Canada's player DragOn, and Canada is still part of the continent of North America, so technically they're still Americans. But I mean, you know, all I'm trying to say is that Vermont maple syrup is actually maybe a little bit better than Canadian maple syrup, even though they put the maple leaf on their flag. So, you know, come at me.
So now Mr. DragOn is trying to hunt, like sending assassin to Korea.
Yeah, he's gonna come train in Korea, but I know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so let's go and see the profiles of the players who will play today, because Mr. So let's go back to the casters for one more second. I need to update the profiles, but
yeah, what you guys don't know is that this is what Zero is doing behind the scenes while Nyoken and I are talking on stream. And so when it's behind the scenes, you don't have to try to talk all the time. It's actually much easier. So this is what it looks like when I like to think of Zero as the Wizard of Oz or the Wizard of BSL. He's like the magician behind the curtain. So when you pull the curtain back and you actually have to cast, things are a lot harder here. So of course, please bear with us today. We're doing this all so that we can both watch Nyoken play, which is like, the real goal is so that when he comes back and casts next week, we can give him a hard time when he flies 2 dropships into shuttle or into turrets. So,
oh yeah, but
anyway,
we can also assume that he will win and you will be stick with me, Mr. Rapid. And our viewers will have to suffer our production mistakes.
Yeah.
But I think it's
so we should actually hope that Nyoken loses so that he can come back and cast and Zero can be the producer again.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm hoping that Mr. Nyoken will win no matter what, because he deserves that. But I also want to see DragOn win, so because both of them, I mean, all of our top 8 players are super nice guys. There are no bad manners. Of course, TrueTouch was a little bit lucky yesterday, according to Gornish, but but
He was pretty lucky.
yeah. Okay, so the profiles are ready now. So we will see DragOn and Nyoken. So Nyoken didn't answer the question why you love Brood War, because he said that it's like you can't describe it in 1 or 2 sentences. He could write a book about it. Why you love Brood War. So that's a good answer.
Yeah, he has talked at length about why he loves Brood War. And he mentions this Larva versus LX match, which is the match that Larva played with his feet as his most favorite match there.
Yeah.
So I understand why that is the match that stuck with him. But I actually really agree with DragOn, who says that the first pro replay that he ever saw with Boxer in it was the match that really stood out to me. Because the first match that I ever saw of Brood War was Boxer doing Marine Micro around Lurker Spines in one of the first, the predecessor to the MSL, I want to say. I forget what it was. Very, very early tournament. And I watched him do this, and it was just so amazing to me. And so I just had to, watch more tournaments after that. So I really do agree with DragOn.
Oh yeah. I'm also a huge fan of music.
They're saying the music is really loud.
Oh my god, excuse me for that, because I have turned on, like, I will try to take care of it for the future. So excuse me for that, but now it should be fine. And
okay.
Yeah, and we are always asking people more tournaments or less tournaments with bigger prize pool, and everyone is saying that it's better to have less tournaments with bigger prize pool, like not have weekly tournament with like $150 prize pool, but they prefer to have 2 or 3 tournaments a year. And it's pretty shocking for me, because I thought it will be like 50-50 split between the players, and now they are every one of them answered that they prefer to have smaller amount of tournaments.
That's really interesting. I don't know. I mean, I definitely hear voices on both sides. I think that if you have lots of tournaments, then it can be it can be easy to think that they are not important. But I just like to watch players play games, and they're going to do it all the time, so why not have a tournament for it? I really enjoy tournaments of all levels, whether it's
me too.
Amateur tournaments or just lots of pro tournaments. So I'm not sure. I just like watching Brood War.
Yeah, and also the tournaments like Have At You are giving the consistency for the players to train. It's like BSL prize pool can be like taken once in a 3 months, and on Have At You someone that did a graph, and you can actually earn more on Have At You than on BSL, because they are weekly tournaments. So they are also very needed. But yeah, this was the questions asked by the BSL team, so maybe they didn't want to offend us.
Well, I think there's a place for both kinds of tournaments. And different players
definitely
will prefer different ones, and that's okay, because as long as there are lots of players playing and signing up, then that's good. And in truth, there are tons and tons of StarCraft Brood War players out there right now, and maybe even some of you out there are those. So even if you only watch Brood War and don't play it, that's okay. I would encourage you to play it, just like I have to encourage myself to play it and suck a lot, but in the end, it does get better. So we can all do it together. Whether you're playing in Zeros tournaments or Have At Yous or whatever it is, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, STPL is also a super Gosu tournament. It's worth it to follow Mr. Kicks. And what is your race, Mr. Rapid?
So I started out playing Zerg, then I started playing Terran, and I played Terran for a long time. And then when I moved to Korea, Tasteless showed me some Protoss build orders, and I just practiced those a lot. But lately, I've gone back to playing Zerg a lot, because Cadenzi is really kind of taught me a few builds, or at least I learned the builds from watching her play a lot, and so now I try to do them. But obviously, I'm not quite as good as she is. It's just fun to try.
Yeah, Cadenzi is improving extremely well. Yeah. She won with Dewolt in KCM. Challenge. It was so impressive for me. I thought that, okay, Dewolt will win, and then who will he play against? And then I watched the match, and it was like, what? And very impressive, very, very well deserved, because I'm assuming Cadenzi is practicing a lot. Oh, Mr.
Yeah,
Eon!
practicing a lot.
Thank you for the host. Thank you for hosting our stream.
Yeah.
Huge thanks.
Oh, before we start this off, I just wanted to mention, especially because Eon hosted our stream, that the Impossible Challenge is going on, and Eon has been streaming along with True Touch and a lot of other players out there. Eon's been trying to win $1,000 sponsored by Rustbrain for the first player to win 11 matches in a row above 2K MMR on the Korean server, which is basically impossible, but these monstrous players are trying it. Eon's gotten pretty close, but
He
you
had
only
8,
have to
right?
beat Flash like 8 times.
Oh yeah, he had 8 and he lost to Miso, and he also won with some pro gamers.
Yeah, he's beaten
doing that.
Zero and Miso and all these crazy good pro gamers, but it's just so hard. So yeah,
But
good
it's
luck
really
to all
good
the players
challenge.
trying to do that.
Yeah, everyone should try it. If they are playing, I think you have to cast it to be one of the participants, right?
You have to stream it, but
Yeah.
it's
Streaming, yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a stream and stream yourself playing ladder. You get 11 wins in a row and you get $1,000, which is like the prize pool for BSL. It's an insane amount of money. I keep thinking that Rustbrain is totally crazy, but he keeps doing these amazing things for Brood War. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see if anybody can accomplish that.
Yeah, let's hope that we will have Mr. Rustbrain forever with us to do this kind of tournaments. The Lance in Moscow, I hope there will be second edition, because I would like to go very much. Okay, maybe let's move to the first match, Mr. Rapid. What do you think?
I think that would be a great idea. Let me just get into the second match. And let's see, I'm not sure if we've looked at the map pool for the first best of 5.
Yeah, the maps are now on the screen, and it will be pretty normal, I would say. We will start with Circuit Breaker, then In the Way of an Eddy, then on set 3 will be on Benzin, and then if it will be needed, set 4 will be on Sylphid, and set 5 on Kaiseris, which is favorite map of Mr. Rapid.
Yeah, I really do like Kaiseris. No heartbeat here. I know that's Nyoken's favorite map.
Oh yeah.
But Circuit Breaker is really standard, and I think it should work out well for Nyoken, because as long as he knows everything that's going on, I think he'll have a pretty good shot at taking on DragOn.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely on the level of DragOn. They both are a very good match for each other, at least from my perspective. If I would do a show match, I could match them, and I would expect extremely even games. So it will be very interesting to see. You are right, Circuit Breaker is a good map for a Terran to begin the series. Because I think it's a peak of a Terran after a lose very often.
Yeah, I think it's a big map, and if you spawn in cross positions, a lot of times that can make it easier to get your third base up, and as Terran that kind of helps here. But DragOn can be a little bit sneaky, so let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go to the game number 1 on Circuit Breaker and let's see how it will go.
Okay, we're in the game. Let me just go ahead and start by introducing the player in the bottom left-hand corner of your map. In the brown, it is the American Terran and my BSL co-caster, Nyoken.
And in the top right position, directly from Canada, who is always very high in every BSL season, this is Mr. DragOn.
Yeah, that's right. Now, DragOn is kind of an interesting old school guy. In fact, most of these players are super old school. But he has actually switched races quite a bit. He used to play random, and then he race picked. But then he became a pure Protoss player, maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And he's just been Protoss ever since. So he does have a lot of perspective when it comes to playing other races, but he is Protoss player only since a very long time.
Yeah, and he's still playing Zerg versus Protoss, so he's still using his Zerg skill, and it's also helping him because if you are playing only one matchup, for example ZVP, and you are playing Protoss versus Zerg, you have understanding of a matchup for both sides of the player. That's why I think his best matchup should be PvZ and ZVP, but I don't know what to expect from him about PvT. Is he on the same level of Nyoken? I hope yes. Oh, and he's starting with the Nexus first. Very risky opening.
Yeah, Nexus first is sort of the... I talk about this with kicks all the time, because Nexus first versus Terran is very vulnerable, because now a lot of Terrans are putting in 8 racks in the middle of the map, and then trying to see if the opponent is going for a 12 Nexus. And if they are, then they get bunker rushed and they die. But that's not what Nyoken's doing. He's just playing very safe and defensive, going for a gas expand.
Oh yeah, and also cross positions will help DragOn a lot to defend it.
Yeah.
Nyoken scouted very smartly the center if there is no gateway over there, because it's very common strategy recently. We are seeing that Protosses are making one gateway and trying to pressure Terran, and then they're making all the tech in the main base, and it's not like it's all in, it's like a normal opening these days, I feel like.
Yeah, it's more normal now. You expect it. I think maybe, 5 or 6 years ago it would be very crazy, but now it is a little bit more normal. Nyoken got a little bit unlucky with scouting, so he will find the 12 Nexus right as the Nexus finishes, and by then it's kind of too late, but if you still really rush over there and bring a lot of SCVs, it can be difficult for the Protoss player to hold that Nexus because they only have one gateway behind it.
Yeah, you are definitely right, but Nyoken is still producing Marines, so if he will make a Vulture instantly, he will maybe... Oh yeah, and he's making a Vulture, so he will want to deal some damage. I don't think that... Since he's not taking any SCVs, it will not be all in, but he will want to apply some pressure on DragOn.
That's right, and now here we go. We have the Marines headed across the map. The Vultures should follow as soon as it is completed. There's the Vulture, it's done, and the Machine Shop is coming down immediately after this. So Nyoken recognizes that he has an opportunity to play pretty aggressively, because Zealots are not great against Vultures and Marines. Maybe they can make the Marines run away, but there is this these bridges to get across, so that might be a little bit hard for Nyoken to do.
Yeah, and he can't fight a Zealot with 2 Marines, so he have to wait for the Vulture, but he very smartly is taking some hits on the Zealot, and it will be very small gap before the DragOn will be there, so maybe he will be able to kill this one Zealot, but overall it should be pretty easy hold for DragOn.
Yeah, and I think it's important for Nyoken to just force the probe pull, not try to fight the Zealots, because the Zealots, they're pretty tanky, and they can buy a lot of time. But Nyoken, I think, is very smart to pull back here, because he doesn't want to overextend and then lose his units. He wants to come back, get his own expansion up, and then maybe make a later push.
Yeah, you're right, and especially that he didn't lose a Vulture is very good for him, because he's going very quickly for the mines, so then this Vulture would be -3 mines, and then thanks to saving this Vulture he will be able to mine the map. And have vision or deny Protoss from dealing some damage.
Yeah, DragOn is going to try to come out onto the map, but he will be scouted by Nyoken's Vultures. And let's see, do we have mines yet? Yes, we do. So that means that the Vultures will be able to stop DragOn from pushing too far.
Yeah, and overall, all the game just stabilized, I would say. Now it's more dependent on DragOn what he will decide to do. We are seeing robotics facility, but what will be his next step in the tech tree? It will be mass Dragoons, just as they all showed us yesterday that it's possible to do it against top Terrans, or maybe some kind of fast star carriers or fast arbiter. It's also an option.
Yeah, especially if you have a good 12 Nexus that you can start getting gas very early on, you can absolutely go for like a fast carrier tech. But this is a very big map, and the middle of the map is not safe for carriers, so it can be hard to use the carriers once you build them. And if your opponent scouts it, then they can build a lot of Goliaths very quickly. But let's find out what is going to happen here, because with lots of vultures and mines in the middle of the map, Nyoken might want to expand to a fast third base too.
Yeah, definitely, it can be an option, and he found that there is Citadel of Adun being done by DragOn very quickly. And look at this 4 vultures on 12 o'clock. He's just waiting for DragOn to move out, and I'm assuming that he wants to snipe some probes with them. So he's just waiting for Protoss to move out.
Yeah, for Dragon, it's always hard to take an expansion because you have to deal with the mines that have been placed. Your probe might die to vultures, and it's just kind of hard to deal with this big vulture presence out on the map. And I think that Nyoken is using this very, very effectively to keep Dragon from taking a very fast third base.
Yeah, and you are right, he's going for another expansion, so he will have quicker third base than a Protoss. That's these days is like more frequently happening than that Protosses are able to play in the same amount of bases against Terran, but back in the days you had to have at least one more base as a Protoss.
Well, yesterday's games were really cool watching DeWalt play Terror, because DeWalt has this really cool timing attack right as the Terran player is trying to get a third base. And I think he punishes Terran players to try to take their third base too quickly. So if Dragon has been watching that series and watching that build, he might be able to punish Nyoken for taking a very fast third base, but it will be hard to kind of push across the map through the mines and get his own third base up behind this at the same time.
Yeah, that's really smart. Oh, there is a Stargate I missed. So he's already going for Arbiter to Immolate, so it will be very fast Arbiter for DragOn. So very fast tech only on 2 bases.
Yeah, 2 base Arbiter is very, very fast. But what do you think about this build, Zero? Because there's already a lot of mines and scanners, so I'm not sure how effective a fast Arbiter will be.
Me neither, because I'm sure that Nyoken knows all the timings, because when we are casting with him, he's saying that the direct timings of the recall, when can it happen and stuff, and he just scanned the main base, so he sees that the Arbiter is on the way, so I'm sure that he will calculate some kind of attack or maybe another expansion or some kind of defense against this Arbiter, but overall, I think it's at the beginning it's hard to surprise a Terran with a recall, but when you have 3 or 4 of them, it's really hard to defend against multiple attacks from different directions.
Yes, and I think it was maybe Bonyth or maybe DeWalt who did a mass Arbiter build, and he would kill tanks with Arbiters, because usually you don't think that Arbiters deal any damage, but when you have 10 Arbiters, you can actually deal a lot of damage with them. But it's very rare to have that many. But when you start building them very quickly, then the number builds pretty quickly too. So let's see how effective this is going to be, because we have even bases. There's 4 bases for Dragon, and there's also 4 bases for Nyoken as well. And usually I think this is pretty good for the Terran player.
Yeah, from my perspective it looks the same way, and I really like the mines in the middle of the map, because it allows Nyoken to know when the Dragons will be moving out, and after seeing that he's not moving out, he can assume that this is some kind of tech-heavy build. That's why he scanned the main, probably. So I feel like it's pretty good situation for Nyoken, but I don't know how Dragon is still keeping 30 supply advantage over him.
Dragon's macro is very, very good right now, and he has built a lot of gateways. But he maybe needs to build a few more right now. When you're on 4 bases as Protoss, you should have maybe 10 gateways, very large number, because you need a lot of Zealots and Dragoons to keep trading them away into the Terran player's tanks. And it's stasis first for this Arbiter, so that means that he's trying to fight straight up against these big Terran tank balls instead of trying to recall into the main.
And Nyoken is making upgrades only. Oh, he's going. Well, oh, he's having 2 armories, so he's going for this 2-1 timing attack. It's very popular on Circuit Breaker, I would say.
Yes, because you can afford to do that. A lot of smaller maps have too much pressure to invest heavily into a lot of upgrades and a lot of armories in order to make that happen. And if you only have 1 armory, it can be very hard, or the timing for 2-1 is much later, obviously. So, yeah, they're about halfway done. Now Recall is coming through, so he's getting Stasis and Recall, and now finally starting to clear mines in the middle of the map. So I'm curious where this Arbiter is going to try to recall.
Yeah, I really like that DragOn is clearing this mine, because he don't have to necessarily attack Nyoken, but he will open these doors for him, and Nyoken will be forced to be ready in every possible direction for every single attack from every direction. So I feel like a good recall. He will have an energy for recall soon, so if he will surprise Nyoken, look how many turrets he's having. He built like 20 turrets overall. It's like
okay. This is something about Nyoken. He and Artosis are these media turtle Terrans, and they just build so many turrets, so many mines. Yeah, this is not a good opportunity to recall down at the 6 o'clock base. Maybe he will come in. Look at that stasis. That's huge.
Oh, but the Arbiter might go down. He's only 100 HP left.
Uh-oh, yeah, the Arbiter might die.
Oh, the last shot.
Right as the turret kills the Arbiter. So yeah, no more cloaking. There's a lot of Zealots here, but they're doing a good job running right by the SCVs and getting onto the tanks in the very, very back. But finally, the Zealots are starting to maybe run out here. Nyoken, I think he might be broken.
Yeah, I think he spent too much money on turrets, and when the DragOn attacking with full limit, Nyoken only had 130. So overall, maybe he overinvested a little bit into defense against Arbiter, and DragOn punished that very nicely. But or maybe Nyoken will be able to save it, because there is a lot of reinforcements.
There are a lot of reinforcements here and some mines, and tanks are very good against Dragoons, but you don't want to lose your tank numbers, because they are very valuable in high numbers, but very weak in low numbers. I think the game right now is still okay for Nyoken, because he does have 3 bases. He's still mining from 3 bases, and he can get that 4th base back again pretty quickly. The problem is that DragOn can just keep building off of a very, very big economy, and I think this will look a lot like maybe Game 3 of, I think it was Terror versus DeWalt yesterday, where DeWalt gets a small advantage and starts to get bigger and bigger advantages too.
Yeah, it can look this way, because DragOn is making 2 more expansions on the left side, and if you will add like 10 more gateways over there, it will be so hard for Nyoken to leave his base, because he can win 1 engagement because of his great upgrades and huge power of Protoss army, but overall of Terran army. But overall, Protoss will be able to rebuild so much units that it will be hard for Nyoken to do anything.
Well, Nyoken is trying to do things like getting these vultures behind the mineral lines in that 10 o'clock base.
Yeah.
So they killed a few probes, but it wasn't a lot of damage. So Nyoken still needs to deal a little bit more damage in order to come back to even, but I think he has to be very worried about this next Protoss attack. It's such a big gateway army, and I think DragOn wants to try to recall.
Oh, is there? Oh yeah, he's already having energy, but yeah, there is a very nice drop out of Nyoken, so he will deny mining from this base, and this small moves matters a lot.
Yeah, denying any of the mining is very important. There's still no Nexus. Actually, the Nexus is just now finishing being built in the upper left-hand corner. But look at these vultures. They're actually going to do a really good job of laying a lot of mines and harassing this 4th base from DragOn. And once they kill these pylons, they will be able to kill all of the rest of the probes there. But back home, I think DragOn is going to have some problems defending this next this 6 o'clock base.
Oh, we will have a recall on top of the mines.
Oh no! Everything's gonna die! No!
That's so beautiful.
Oh, that's crazy.
Look at the supplies now.
Minefield.
Oh my god, this is what Nyoken needed, I think, to get back to this game. Now he can just defend this base, and it should be fine for him, because he denied mining of whatever from mineral only and 10 o'clock base, and at the same time he defended his own, so very nicely done.
Yeah, this is a lot of gateway units, but I think you're right, Zero. Nyoken should be able to defend this. But look at that, one recall, and it killed all of the mines, all of the depots down there, and it almost supply blocked Nyoken because he lost so many depots. But the defense holds. Nyoken is now in a very good spot because DragOn just traded away maybe 30 to 40 supply and didn't kill anything. So he's going to keep trying to attack into here, but I think Nyoken should be okay.
Yeah, he should be fine, but there is still an energy on recall from this Architect, so maybe he will recall some reinforcements from home. I don't know, but there is still potential in the energy.
There is a lot of potential here, but the longer Nyoken holds on to these 3 bases, the faster he's going to be getting to 3-2 upgrades, and that is huge. Once you have 3-2 as a Terran player, it's just almost impossible for a purely gateway army to just run in and kill you, and you can start taking a 4th, a 5th, 6th base, and really starting to push into the Protoss players' bases as well. So I like what Nyoken has done. Even while he's been attacked at that 6 o'clock base, he's still pushing out and trying to take control of this upper left-hand part of the map as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's really nice harassment. And he denied mining from this base for like 3 minutes at least. That's huge income loss for DragOn. Fortunately for our Canadian Protoss, he's still mining from a lot of bases and he have plenty of money. He still have supply advantage, but overall, after losing this significant engagement in mineral only, I think Nyoken is doing a very good job to stay in this game.
Yeah, Nyoken is doing a wonderful job at controlling his side of the map and still being aggressive, but he does still actually have to fight DragOn eventually in order to win the game. So I think this is the first time he's really trying to do this. Oh, the stasis is very, very big, but it still might help Nyoken because the Zealots can't run past, or it takes the Zealots some time to run past these stasis units. But I don't know how many tanks Nyoken has. His tank line is very far back, so DragOn doesn't want to move too far and overcommit here.
If Nyoken will save his stasis units, it should be fine for him. He just needs to build few more vultures, because I feel like his army is too much tank heavy without any vultures to support them.
Yes, it's going to take a lot to break through here, but DragOn has a lot. Lots of science vessels here from Nyoken. They're not really doing all that much. There's still a lot of tanks, but let's see if DragOn can break through here. I think he might have enough units to do it. The Zealots are getting on top of the tanks in the back, and there's not very many of them left.
Yeah, it's only 4 tanks left, and there was like 15 of them, so DragOn did excellent job with cleaning them, and in the same time he started to mine from his 10 o'clock base again. And Nyoken is dropping there again, so he's not giving up.
Yeah, there isn't any, there's no way. Wait, why are these okay, yeah, the vultures are just now starting to shoot. This is a great move here by Nyoken to continue to try to harass. He's even trying to take a base down in the bottom right-hand corner at the same time that DragOn is maybe trying to, deny that base by starting a pylon. So Nyoken is still trying to expand, and his units are getting stronger and stronger as he has just now finished 3-2 upgrades, which are very, very powerful against Terran players. Now he's moving out with the vultures as well in the middle of the map. He sniped a High Templar, which is very good, and now he's going to run by and try to plant some mines and just be annoying to stop DragOn from continuing to attack.
Yeah, and look at that, DragOn is following him with all the army he has, so it's good for Nyoken that he's buying a lot of time with only few vultures.
Yeah, he is making a lot out of a little. And he's doing a good job with that, but his expansion in the bottom right-hand corner was canceled, and so his main is about to mine out of minerals. His natural is very low on minerals, and so he will need to expand very soon. Also, there's another drop coming into the upper left-hand base.
But this time, DragOn very smartly added the cannon in the range of the whole mineral line. So, but we don't say enough compliments about DragOn, but because he was able to put himself into the perfect position against such a good Terran as Nyoken is also very impressive. It's not easy
Yes,
task to do.
Yeah, I am very biased towards Nyoken because we cast together, but I'm going to try to, speak some good things about DragOn as well, because I feel like he's doing exactly what Protoss players should do. Just take every single base on the map, because Terrans can't push all of your bases with their very slow siege tanks. But while he is doing that, Nyoken is still macroing up very powerful Terran army. And so even though he lost a lot of tanks last time, he has rebuilt the tank count and has a ton of vultures with them as well.
Yeah, it's very powerful army, but I feel like this might be the last significant attack from Nyoken, because he don't have plenty of minerals left. And engagement is happening, and it's much better for Nyoken, I feel, this time.
Lots of observers flying in. The Arbiter's starting to go down. There's a couple of good stasis, actually just one. And look at that, there's so many tanks here. A D-Matrix does protect one of them, but they're all very clubbed up, and the storms are starting to take the tanks out. There's not very many vultures in front, and I think Nyoken might be in a little bit of trouble. He's losing tanks. He still has a few left. The scans to reveal the Dragoons that are taking quite a bit of damage. But both players just really trading their armies very closely.
Yeah. Look at the supplies. There was full limit versus full limit, and now we have 120 versus 120. So full exchange.
Both players lost like 70 supply of units in that fight. But it's just so incredible to me that the fights are so even, because Nyoken only has 4 bases, and he needs to get another base very quickly.
That's the power of Terran, my friend. That's the power of Terran. You don't have to have half map. You just need to have 4 bases and good upgrades, and it's all very nice port interceptors.
Good enough. Yeah, we are starting to have. I'm sorry. What did you say, Zero?
Oh, I wanted to say that he intercepted the probes very nicely, because DragOn was transferring them to the bottom right.
This is a big attack for Nyoken to make, because if he can take out all of these gateways and this entire base down here, then not only can he mine from it, but he's stopping DragOn from producing a lot of units. So he should kill the pylon down here.
Yeah, that's
because there is only one Artosis pylon powering all of the gateways.
And now the Zealots might be not very good. Fortunately there are vultures to cover the tanks, but in the same time DragOn is going for 6 o'clock base, and there are no tanks. There are only mines to cover it.
Oh, wow. So this is a big attack from DragOn. He's finally found a way to stop this 6 o'clock base from mining. Both players really being very, very aggressive, but DragOn's economy and production is so superior. So I think it's going to be very difficult for Nyoken to hold on. Oh, crazy Mind Drag kills all of the SCVs down at the bottom. And I think this is just going to start to be a little bit too much for Nyoken. He's managed to kill, or he's tried to kill this bottom base, but he's going to lose his command center to cannons because he sent it over to try to land on where the Nexus was.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, you're right. He'll lose it for sure. And he lost the most important base, the only income he had, and he's now mined out in every single base he had, so he badly needs some kind of income, some kind of cash flow.
Yeah, this game is starting to get really, really crazy. DragOn is 60 supply up right now, and oh no, he's gonna lose that command center in the bottom right base. He needs to pull it away from the cannon. GG, Nyoken leaves the game, and wow, DragOn takes game number 1.
Yeah, very, very impressive, very nicely done.
Yeah, very well done there from Nyoken to kind of hold on against every single attack that DragOn had, but ultimately, yeah, DragOn just took the entire map. Perfectly played as Protoss to put on that pressure early. Well, not early, to take the 12 Nexus, get an economic advantage, and then keep putting pressure on after that. Lots of recalls, and I actually thought Nyoken was doing a really good job defending, but it looks like he kind of ran out of money there at the end.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake he made was he over-defended the possible recall, and he spent like 1,500 minerals on every turret can be a vulture. So he built 20 turrets, so it's like he would have 20 vultures more. So it's huge investment. Of course, if there would be a recall, he would say, why would I need these vultures if I have dragons in my main base? So it's hard to judge and hard to choose which thing you should do. But yeah, I think this was the most most important thing he did wrong, from my perspective at least.
Yeah, it's expensive to build turrets, and Nyoken really loves building turrets. So we'll see how many he's going to build in game number 2. And I'm excited for game 2 because I think that once you have time to figure out your opponent, you can make very important adjustments. But DragOn has a lot of momentum on his side. Although I think map number 2 is in the way of an eddy.
Yeah.
So it's still a big 4-player map. And I hope that Nyoken can maybe find a way to punish DragOn's 12 Nexus, because on big 4-player maps, you see a lot more of those.
Yeah, and there is still this island possibility to go for an island and then some carriers on 3 bases. So this map is giving a little bit more opportunities for the Protoss. But do you think this a lot of cliffs are giving more advantage to a Terra or no to a Protoss? Who should have be more comfortable on this map?
Well, the Terran's siege unit can shoot when it's on a cliff, and the Protoss siege unit, the Reaver, can't. So I think it's pretty good for Terran, if you ask me, but it can be very hard to move your big Terran mech army through the passages on the middle of the map, so that can make it very difficult. And I think that the island bases actually are pretty good for Protoss. But if you are a Terran player that's being contained on your low ground main, then maybe you can use the island bases too. I don't know, but I liked your suggestion to put an early Nexus there and go for like 2-based carrier, because this is a pretty good carrier map in general.
Yeah, you are right. It's overall. I feel like when I'm watching Bonyth, every map is good for the carriers, but overall,
it makes every map look good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are right. And I'm still waiting for the maps like Bifrost or something like that. The very, very unbalanced map to come back, and we will see how it will look like. But yeah, these days we are having very balanced map. It's all like map makers are focusing to give opportunity to Protoss to make expansion versus Zerg and to make proper wall-in in every single direction. So they are made for the evolution which game ended up right now. So I thought that in the beginning, in the past, they was also doing the maps for the players, and maybe the player style was a little bit different.
Yeah, I like when you said Bifrost, I haven't heard that map in a long time, because I think the last time Bifrost was played was maybe 10 years ago.
Maybe even more.
Yeah. Let's see. I just want to find this. Yeah, it was first played in 2002. 0. So it's been a very long time.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe that. Bifrost 3, the most recent version of Bifrost, was actually played in 2007, but still a very long time ago for that map. But you're right, it was super broken. So very, very imbalanced, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I feel like when I was playing against Terran over there, I almost wanted to kill myself if I wouldn't love Brood War.
Yeah, it's Brood War can be hard to love sometimes, but I think that makes it you know, the best relationships are the ones that are the most difficult, because they're also the most rewarding.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And with that sentence we can go to the game number 2.
Okay.
So DragOn versus Nyoken game number 2 on In the Way of an Eddy. So you can start, Mr. Rapid, because I will be like.
Way of an Eddy.
Okay, excuse me. I mean, I wanted to say that you can start every game, because I will do some preparation in the first seconds.
Okay, no problem. Then let's start by introducing once again our Terran player in the upper right-hand corner of In the Way of an Eddy in the teal. This is Nyoken. And if you want, I can just introduce both players so you can set everything up.
Yeah, you can introduce
his opponent in the bottom right in the green, as Protoss is our Canadian player DragOn, who is up 1-0 in this best of 5 series. And there's a lot on the line for this series too, because I think the winner, both of these players have already won $25 for making it to the round of 8. But if you make it to the round of 4, you're guaranteed at least $100. So that's a big jump up in prize money. You quadruple the amount of prize money that you get, and then you can quadruple that again if you win BSL. So there's a lot of money. Big thanks to Blizzard for the prize pool. But
Yeah,
both
exactly.
players, like I said, yeah, having a lot to fight for.
Yeah, they can make their price they won already 400% more. So like just as you said, quadruple is the word, right? Quadruple.
Yes.
Okay, I'm learning
Yes.
new things.
It's a
with
very
Mr. Rapid.
funny word. When I said it, I just thought that I haven't said that word in maybe, I don't know, years, because it's not a very common word, and I wonder to myself why that word is in the English language, because it doesn't sound like any other words. It's just kind of a dumb word, but yeah. To multiply by 4 is somehow quadruple.
You would be shocked how difficult and weird things we have in Polish language. So it's totally normal.
Yeah. How do you say, so the word quadruple means that you multiply something by 4, so you have 4 times as much of that. Is there a way to say that in Polish?
Yeah, it's like it's 4 in Poland is 4, and quadruple would be czterokrotnie. So it's pretty similar.
Czterokrotnia?
Yeah, czterokrotnie. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Okay, all right. Sick. I'm such a Polish go-to here, guys. You don't even know. Polish is my second language. No, I cannot speak or read Polish. It's actually one of the harder languages. So thank you, Zero, for taking control of that for me, so that I don't have to do that. Let's see what's happening in the game for right now. It looks like DragOn did not go for another 12th Nexus. He is in base gateway expanding, so this is pretty standard way to open. He already has his gas and he's mining out of it with 3 probes, whereas Nyoken is pretty much doing the exact same build, but the Terran version, where he's getting a gas expand and pumping out a bunch of Marines with the same number of workers and gas.
Yeah, but DragOn's made 2 Zealots before the Dragon, so he wanted to apply some pressure on Nyoken, but unfortunately for him, he didn't scouted that on time, so Nyoken should be prepared because he will have 3 Marines against 1 Zealot, so with good micro, he should be able to deal with him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hope that he can find, some way to deal damage. Oh, wow, he's killed 1 Marine and might actually kill 3 Marines. Oh, the bunker is so close to being done. Oh, he tries to target the SCV, but 1 Marine does get in the bunker, and the Zealot will die to this Vulture here. But still, killing 2 Marines with the Zealot is worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And he scouted what is going on. He saw that there is expansion coming, so now he can quickly adjust to what he's seeing. Unfortunately for him, the Zealot is caught by the Vulture, so this Vulture will have very good value at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. It is going to be very good. Unfortunately, Vultures cannot fight Dragoons, so it still has to run away. But it is faster than them, so it will escape, and that will let DragOn expand, take his first Nexus. But the command center is already halfway done.
Yeah, so it will be much faster, much better economy for Nyoken for like 1 minute. So it should be like 700 minerals. It will be a lot if the saturation will be fine. And oh, but he wants to run by. And it's really nice job. Oh, but very nice block with the SCVs. But there's only 1 Marine. The Dragoons can stay there forever.
Yeah, there's 1 Marine on the low ground. If they can break through these SCVs, then maybe they can go kill the tank, but he can't break through the SCVs. Great glitching there by Nyoken. He is going to break back up the ramp and secure his natural expansion. Wow, that was very dangerous. DragOn has 2 Dragoons with like 2 HP.
Yeah, that was impressive hold. I thought that DragOn will be able to deal much more damage, but this SCV glitch was so impressive.
Yeah, really good job there. Pulling SCVs looks like it's very broken, but it's very hard to do to get them to behave like that. So a good defense there by Nyoken. He is already mining from that natural expansion, and DragOn's base or Nexus is just now finishing.
And he's adding 2 more gateways, so because he had an option after seeing the expansion to go for like twice, like 2 expansions at the same time and maybe go for some kind of macro mode, but he decided to go for 2 more gateways and robotics facilities. So we will see much more aggressive build from DragOn this time, I think.
Okay, so DragOn is going to play more aggressively. What is Nyoken going to do to stop it? Nyoken is in general a very defensive player. So step number 1 in defending is you have to know what you're defending against.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to build an academy and get some scans to try to find out what DragOn might be doing.
Yeah, especially these days when Protoss players are going for river arbiter carriers or mass shuttles. There is a lot of things you want to scout and to know what you are facing.
And you can't forget about Dark Templar as well. Those can be very, very dangerous. But I think Nyoken will be okay. He's going to have scanners built, or Terran Comsat stations built very soon. And that should help him. So immediately a scan goes down in the main to see the gateway count.
Oh, we will have a run by... No, the DragOn was on... Very nice defense, very nice hold by DragOn. If the Vultures would sneak into the main base, he could lay some mines over there and maybe snipe some probes. So it was very nice attempt by Nyoken, but extremely well holded by DragOn, with only 1 DragOn.
Yes, Dragons are doing very good at defending for him. Although they didn't break through the bunker, so maybe they're not that great. But for Nyoken, he knows what's happening on the other side of the map. So he can start to maybe build another command center. Oh yeah, he is actually already building another command center to try to take a 3rd base.
Yeah, so it looks like he's playing very normal opening. So you said that he is more of a defensive Terran, and I'm agreeing. Like, he's not doing anything crazy. He don't want to like get some edge advantage by some risky moves, and he's doing everything like as it should be as a macro player.
Yeah, so let's see what's happening. He's going to expand probably to the close mineral-only base. Or no, it's not a mineral-only base. The mineral-only is in the middle of the map. But he can also try to expand to the 12 o'clock location, which is an island base if he wants to, if he feels pressured. But expanding towards a Protoss player can be very difficult because of the pushes like the ones that DeWalt did yesterday.
Oh, and Nyoken yesterday was casting with you the game versus Devil versus Terror, and he immediately now scanned the island base because he was afraid that DragOn might took it, because Devil already had it in this time of the game. So he learned from casting. That's also good.
That's actually a great thing to point out, because Nyoken has the benefit of watching all of these players that he could possibly play against play their games. So he's been casting Dragons games all season long, and maybe that means that he will be able to do a good job here in this best of 3. But so far, DragOn has not expanded again. He hasn't built that 3rd Nexus, and there's almost Nyoken is almost about to float out and take his 3rd base. But that might be a little bit scary because there's already a shuttle with 3 Zealots inside of it and a lot of Dragoons on the map.
Yeah, and there are no Vultures to support the tanks, so...
Oh, the Vultures are running into the main. How did Nyoken get 2 Vultures all the way into the main base? This is crazy.
I don't know, but he already killed like 4 probes, 5 probes now, so very nicely done. And he scouted everything.
Wow, how good are Vultures? I can't even believe they just ran all the way in there. That was so fast. I understand they have a speed upgrade, but they're just so fast already. Oh man. So good job by Nyoken continuing to try to deal just a little bit of damage here and there. But I think he might have to worry about this big Protoss army now that more and more units from DragOn are rallying into the middle of the map.
Yeah, and do you think like this map is better for recall than a Circuit Breaker? You feel like it's maybe more possible that DragOn will decide to go for fast recall over here?
It's better for recall at the natural expansions because they are high ground, and if you recall into the natural, then it's hard for the Terran player to come fight you because there's a narrow ramp that you can maybe block off. But we haven't seen recall yet. Although here we go, I think DragOn is going to try to fight
he's
into this.
going for
He's going to drop the Zealots on the tanks in the back, and those are actually really good Zealot bombs, but they get killed off very quickly. So DragOn takes kind of a bad fight there, but let's see if he can deal damage to this third base to make up for it.
Yeah, this time Nyoken was much better prepared than in the previous game. He defended it very, very nicely, and now the supplies are dead even, and DragOn is not having too many gateways to rebuild his army. So the Dragons was very precious for him.
Yeah, very good job there by Nyoken to defend. And now we get a chance to see, well, DragOn, if you can't attack and kill Nyoken's bases, what are you going to do? Because he's only on 3 bases of his own, maybe 2.5, once this gets cleaned up. And yeah, so DragOn loses everything and didn't kill a base. That's really bad.
Yeah, that's really bad. The only good thing for him is that he's having Arbiter with some energy on it, and he's building up the energy. So maybe he will be able to do something with Arbiter, maybe stack a game for a few seconds with good stasis, but it's a very good situation for Nyoken, and he feels this way, I'm sure. Yeah, and he's moving out. That's why he's moving out.
Yeah, very good decision there by Nyoken to move out. He has about a 10 supply lead, 10 or 15, and that's a really good spot for Terran to be in, because if you can trade equally with the Protoss army, that's pretty good. But if you can obviously have better, more efficient trades, lots of tanks and mines, that's what Nyoken is trying to accomplish here. So let's see if DragOn can break through this push. I don't think so. The Zealots weren't in position, and wow, look at how deep Nyoken is going with all of these vultures laying so many mines at that natural expansion.
So many probes are dying, and this is the first nail into the coffin. This is how you say it, but
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so this is, if you are losing the probes in one of the 3 mining bases, it's not the best situation for him. But now DragOn started to macro with 10 gateways, so maybe if he will have time for two production cycles, it will be fine for him. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think if DragOn is given enough time, maybe he can break this. He has an Arbiter, a Cloaking Field, and a bunch of units behind, but look at the mines. They kill everything. DragOn GG's, and Nyoken takes game number 2.
Whoa. So we have a tie series. So best of 3 from now on.
A best 3 for $75. Both of these players have won $25, and that means advancing on to the next round. Very, very exciting to see that it is so close, because Nyoken is so good, and I don't want to have to cast with a sad co-caster next week. I want Nyoken to be happy, but if he wins, then I still can't cast with him because he's going to be playing in the tournament. So I don't know which one I want, but obviously I'm glad the games are really good, and obviously Nyoken is a very good player too. So wow, I think the biggest thing that happened there is that DragOn attacked and tried really hard to kill that natural expansion, but he just couldn't do it. And Nyoken was too good at defending as a good macro Terran, and so he was able to stabilize and then push across the map after his opponent lost his entire army.
Yeah, I don't know what template they are going to attack over there, because he didn't have too much production, he didn't have Arbiter, so maybe he saw something if he felt like maybe the tanks are too clumped together and he will be able to drop the Zealots over there. I don't know what was the decision, like the process in his brain before this decision, but he was badly punished for this attack.
Yeah, it was a big punish. So Nyoken is going to go tie the series at 1-1. Our next map is going to be
it's going to be Benzene.
Benzene. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So still kind of a big map, but it's 2 players. So if either player wants to go for something aggressive or cheesy, then maybe this is the map for it. But I think the coolest thing that Terrans can do here is just build that racks in the middle of the map and try to cancel or stop a 12 Nexus from coming down. I think that might be a really good option for Nyoken to try to do, so that he doesn't have to worry about getting that huge macro advantage that he had in game 1.
So maybe I think that's what Terror was trying to do against Devolt yesterday when he was building this proxy barracks in Benzene. But he was
I think
punished.
so.
Punished for that. So maybe that was double mind game from Devil's
Ah,
too. But
yeah, maybe I never thought about that.
I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely an option. I never thought about it. But yeah, 12 Nexus over here is like very often played by Protosses.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go for our third map in the series. It's on Benzene, and it will decide which player has the advantage going into one of our final maps. So here we go. All right. Welcome everybody to game number 3. The map is Benzene, and in the upper right-hand corner, in the green, is our Terran player, Nyoken. And his opponent in the bottom left is DragOn from Canada, playing Protoss in the red. So game number 1 was very big and macro, and game number 2, DragOn tried to attack, it didn't work, and Nyoken counterattacked for the win. So I wonder what we will have in game 3.
Yeah, me too, because I think I've been talking about this map with Nyoken, and he said to me that it's the hardest map to defend against the recall, because when you have your units in the middle of the map, or at least in your mineral only, it's so far away to get back and defend your main base. So I'm wondering if Nyoken will want to punish or just gain some advantage by some tricky drop or mass vultures play. I don't know what he could do, but maybe not a regular opening, because he might be afraid of these recalls, or maybe he found a way to defend against them. I don't know, but yeah, it will be very interesting to see.
The way I've seen Nyoken defend against recalls before is to lay nothing but mines in his bases and build tons of turrets. And that's what he did in game number 1, but I think he spent too much money doing all of that because he had no minefields out on the middle of the map, or very few, but lots of mines built in his own bases. And so that helped him when the Protoss recalled on top of his mines, but it hurt him because there was nothing to stop DragOn from moving all around the map and taking all the bases. So I don't know what the answer is, but I'm sure Nyoken is very worried about those recalls.
Yeah, now he's scouting all the main just to see if there is nothing hidden over there. From DragOn, it's still possible to do some kind of proxy gateways in the Terran main on this map, because it's such a huge base. But this time DragOn didn't went for 12 Nexus, so maybe it's like they know that Terran might expect that, so they are not doing that.
It's such a big mind game. But something that both players should know about each other is that usually they have the same standard opening. It's gas expands with one gateway and one barracks, so nothing very aggressive. But let's see how many zealots DragOn tries to build. He has built one zealot, but it doesn't stop the SCV from getting in.
Yeah, so that's very good for Nyoken, that he will see that how many gateways there are if the cybernetic core is spinning on time, and he will try to keep this STV alive for as long as it's possible, because it will block DragOn from any decision that he will go for in terms of tech tree choice.
Now let's see what the next choice is. We're getting range for DragOn, so that means that he is not going to be going for like a Dark Templar rush or anything really crazy. But hey, look at Nyoken. He's trying to be annoying and build that engineering bay at the natural expansion to delay this Nexus even longer.
But how did he know about it, that DragOn is going for this Nexus? Because DragOn was stopped making DragOn for a second, so he wanted to make DragOn after the Nexus, but then after seeing this engineering bay, he added one more DragOn. So this engineering bay was actually brilliant.
Yeah, that was very, very good. I think it depends on, like, when you get your SCV in there and see what the Protoss is making. If you try to delay the Dragoon to build the Nexus, then yeah, it's not going to be possible because the Zealot is way out on the map. So very good thinking there by Nyoken, who now has a not a big lead, but has delayed that Nexus quite a bit.
Yeah, but in this game we will have reverse situation from the previous one. This time DragOn will be the one with the faster expansion. So, but yeah, it will be like half the production of the main building. So it will not be the disaster, but it will still some advantage for our Protoss player. What these Marines are doing?
Yes.
Maybe looking for probe or
Yeah.
zealot.
He's trying to kill the Overlord.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. They were having an adventure, but sometimes you can catch a zealot on hold position outside your base, or a probe or something. So he was just doing a little bit of scouting information. And look at the first tank. This is one of the cool features of Benzene, is that there is this little tiny ramp above, or not ramp, but a platform above your natural expansion. And it can be a blessing or a curse, because lurker drops on that ramp are very powerful.
Yeah.
You can siege tank drop on the ramp. It can be bad for your workers, but it can also be good for you to try to defend it, like Nyoken has done by putting this tank up here.
Yeah, with this one tank, I think this base is almost unbeatable on this stage of the game. So you're right, it can work either way, but yeah, we are not seeing that often using of this area on top of the natural, but yeah, you are right. It's a huge potential to deal damage. Nyoken likes drops, so maybe he'll try to use it. Very fast scans from him, so he don't want to play blindly. As you said in the previous game, if you want to adjust to your opponent, you have to know what your opponent is doing, and this is what Nyoken is going for.
All right, so Nyoken, yeah, going straight to scans and starting to put turrets up just to make sure that he is in a good spot, and I think he is, but he hasn't really scouted the map very much. So here come the first two scans. He is going to see that there's nothing unusual going on in Dragon's base, and he's going to throw up an armory at the same time to start getting those Terran upgrades. So at least for right now, I think both players are starting to take their early game precautions to make sure they don't die, but also to start thinking about the mid game, because it seems like both of these players can open very passively, but Dragon seems to be playing a little bit more aggressive, and maybe that's a good thing. It was a bad thing in game number 2 because he was too aggressive and wound up losing his army.
Yeah.
But it was actually really good in game 1 because Nyoken was playing too defensively.
Yeah, you are right, but like in this game, I think you've been talking about it because you casted PvT over here. It's much harder to defend this mineral only because the area is very open over there, so it's easy to flank the mineral only. So it will be even harder to defend it from Nyoken than in Circuit Breaker.
That would be very hard to defend. Scans coming off to try to see the timings here, and let's see.
He saw a Stargate.
I think actually, yeah, the Stargate with +1 air weapons. So he saw the Stargate, but did he see the cybernetics core spinning? I don't think he did.
Yeah,
but
I think
yeah,
no.
It's gonna be carriers.
Yeah, it's going to, and it. It's very, very exciting for me because it will be carriers only on 2 gases, because I don't think that DragOn will have a time to take the top left base. So it will be low number of ground units. So if Nyoken will decide to go for it relatively quickly, he can punish Protoss for doing such a move.
This is a very good map for carriers because you can just put them over this massive amount of unbuildable terrain by the Terran main. So the terrain in the main causes Terrans lots of pain. I think so. Maybe Nyoken will think so too. Because both players are expanding to their third bases at about the same time. So this is a little bit slow for Dragon because he's put a bunch of effort into getting 2 Stargates and his fleet beacon online and getting that +1 weapons. So lots and lots of... Oh, perfect! Scanned by Nyoken. He nailed it.
And now he will calculate everything to the last possible second, because now he will see when the fleet beacon is ended, and he will calculate when the carriers will arrive. So, if he wants to go for some kind of sneaky timing attack before the carriers will arrive, he will definitely have opportunity to do that.
Yeah, 1 carrier or 2 carriers is totally useless. It does almost nothing, and there's a lot of resources invested in this strategy for Dragon. So beautiful scan there to see that information so that it is not surprising at all. And so Nyoken is going to know exactly what he needs to do to stop this. He has 3 more factories just now finishing, and will probably start building Goliaths to stop these carriers from doing anything.
And I really like the observer scouting from DragOn. He's seeing how many factories there are. He's having observer as to know when Nyoken will be moving out. So he also sees everything and he's scouting perfectly. So he's not playing blindly at all.
He's not playing blindly, but the cool thing for me to see this series is that Nyoken is a very good Terran player. He's got lots of solid mechanics, and he's got an average of about 250 APM, whereas DragOn is a Protoss player, and so he doesn't need. He's got an average of about 150, 160 APM. That's kind of interesting for me to see. I was actually talking with a couple of Korean pro gamers the other day. Or actually, was it? Oh, it was Nyoken. Yeah, I was talking with Nyoken, and he said that one of the coolest things for him was sitting behind Stork, watching Stork play StarCraft. And Stork has one of the reputations for being the slowest pro gamer, but also being one of the absolute best, because every single action that he did was just exactly what he needed. He was not lazy or wasteful with his APM. He was very, very intelligent.
Smart clicks.
So just because you have low APM, doesn't mean you're not smart.
Oh, and Nyoken is slowly going towards the bridges, where it will be harder and harder for DragOn to engage this Terran army. How long until the carriers? Oh, there is one carrier already, but it's not without interceptors, so it will be useless.
It has no interceptors, and interceptor capacity, or interceptor carrier capacity, is not researched. Okay, just now finished, but that's still very late, and there's almost no carriers, so this has to work. DragOn has to break this right now. He's got a lot of zealots, and actually look at that. The drop from behind is very, very good, and there's no siege on any of these tanks. Finally, he's going to start to siege the tank, and Nyoken defends the bridges. DragOn has to pull back, and this is actually terrible for DragOn because now his bases are at risk. The carrier is here, but there's only 4 interceptors, so this is not going to deal a lot of damage. Eventually, it will get cleaned up, but this is still a pretty scary push here.
Yeah, but it looks like it feels good for DragOn that he will defend it relatively, like he will lose almost everything, but he will defend it and he will still save 2 carriers of his own. So I can even say I think that the push of Nyoken didn't work.
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair, Zero. I actually thought he was, after holding the bridges, I thought Nyoken was in a good spot. Oh, he might actually snipe a carrier. If he can kill a carrier here, that'd be huge. But he's not going to go for it. One of those carriers is only on 126 HP.
But Nyoken is just steaming more and more units. He just wants to kill DragOn. He don't want to let him have this critical mass of like 6 to 8 carriers because it's so hard to deal with. So very nicely done by our Terran player, just to apply as much pressure as he can. But DragOn is also holding on very nicely. He added more gateways, so he's macroing heavily. He's having speed for the Zealots, so Zealots plus carriers are actually the perfect counter against the Goliaths.
Exactly. Now, this is something I love that Nyoken does. He's so good at just timing out his harassment. He has 3 vultures in the upper left-hand base. They're going to start focusing down that nexus, and more annoying than that is planting all these mines, which have already killed off our Dragoon up there. So mission accomplished for those vultures. Great job by Nyoken for harassing and making the space basically impossible to use right now.
Yeah, he will delay it for some time, and there is a gas so badly needed for DragOn over there, so every second matters right now. And Nyoken is building mass Goliaths. I don't know what to think about it. Maybe it's a good idea, but it's mass Goliaths versus Zealots plus carriers, so it will be hard for him to engage that.
Yeah, Goliaths are not actually that great a unit versus Protoss, unless they have a lot of upgrades. And currently, there's only 1-1 upgrades for the 2nd armory on the way here for Nyoken. So he doesn't have that 2-1, the big Terran upgrade push. But he does have a lot of Goliaths, and that's exactly what he needs. There's only, I think, 3 or 4 carriers now. Yeah, 4 carriers. And that's not a critical mass of carriers, especially when there's so many Goliaths out here.
Yeah, and DragOn is losing so many interceptors that these carriers are now useless, but there is so much ground army that he can just crush this Terran just with a move, just like Protoss players are doing.
Yeah, that one tiny tank in the middle of these Goliaths is doing a lot of work, but there's actually, I think, even though there's a lot of Goliaths that may make the carriers not effective, the Zealots on the ground are actually dealing a ton of damage, so they have evaporated by now, so no more Zealots down there. The minefield is stopping the Dragoons from getting any closer, and those two tanks in the back are doing so much damage. The Interceptors just can't survive long enough to take those tanks out. Finally, though, the Goliaths are eliminated, but they do kill a carrier. They get two carriers. Oh my god, that's really great for Nyoken.
Oh, and now he's sniping the Observers, so the mines will be invisible. Oh, but there is one more.
Yeah, he
left.
actually scans to kill another Observer. Really smart play there by Nyoken. Now, if Dragon tries to move through here, these mines are going to kill everything.
Oh, there is two more carriers coming in, so he will have 4, so this is the minimal number, I think, to try to engage. But I really like DragOn's situation right now, because he stabilized the top left position, and he's still surviving this extremely high pressure from Nyoken.
Well, I actually think that Nyoken's in a fantastic spot here, because he has 4 bases up and running. So, as a Terran player, if you're on equal bases and you can keep the your Protoss opponent way on the other side of the map, then I mean that's great to me. But there are these 4 carriers that are pretty scary, moving across the map as well. And Nyoken has a bad rally point, so a lot of his units kind of die, or at least one factory has all the units die when they move out through the middle of the map. Yeah, Nyoken does have to build an army to save this bottom base.
Yeah, he badly needs, and he have plenty of units in the main base, like 6 Goliaths and 2 Vultures. That will be very useful to defend this base.
Yeah, he definitely should bring all of this down. The third base is pretty well defended, but yeah, this last base down here with all the carriers is going to be very difficult to hold on to. You might want to just pull the workers back now, but he's going to try to build as many missile turrets as he can, make this as annoying as possible to try to stop. But it's taking him a long time to move his army down to the bottom of the map.
Yeah, and there are no tanks, so it's pure Goliaths and Vultures versus Dragoons, so it's never good. And even if the Nyoken somehow will kill the carriers, their ground army will just crush him. And the suppliers are telling the story.
Starting to look really bad for Nyoken here. I think he might have committed too much in the middle of the map with all of those Goliaths. He can still build more Goliaths, but he doesn't have that base. So there's not going to be any opportunity to do it. GG, Nyoken taps out in game number 3. And that means that Dragon is up 2-1 in the series.
And yeah, he's only 1 game away from qualifying to the semi-finals. That's really impressive.
Whew, wow, it feels like whoever is first to win 2 games in a best of 5 almost always wins the series, because it's so much momentum. All you have to do is win 1 more game. But if Nyoken can come back in the next game, then maybe he can take the last one. I don't know, but I think Dragon is looking fantastic, and as long as he doesn't hurt himself too much with early attack that doesn't work, his macro seems very good, and eventually the carriers did work out, so he had a good strategy there in game. Yeah,
and yeah, DragOn came prepared for today. He also probably practiced a lot. He had a lot of time to practice against the Terrans, so yeah, it's really nice to see that he's like on top of his game.
Yep, very on top of his game. That's going to, I forgot to turn my camera on. But anyway, that's going to do it for game number 2, or game number 3 rather. Game number 4 is coming up, and it will be on the map Sylphid. So this is a really kind of a nice compromise between both of those maps. It's a 3-player map. The third bases have kind of a wall around them, but it's not high ground. So it's kind of interesting to see the way that different players try to play this, because for Protoss you have less area out on the map to expand to, but for Terran players, you know, it's a much better map, I feel, for carriers because of all the water on the edges of the map. So maybe those could be effective.
Yeah, for sure. And you can, if you are making carriers for, let's say, for in the main base, you can defend like natural base, your third base, and your third base, just like by staying in the main base and moving a little bit. So it's really a small area to cover by the slow carriers. And yeah, you are right. It might be a good map for the carriers.
All right, well, I am ready to get into our fourth match. All I have to do is join the lobby, and then we'll be ready to go on Sylphid for game number 4. Hope you guys are enjoying BSL tonight. There's already 400 viewers out there, so a big thanks to everybody for coming out to watch BSL. You can follow the BSL Twitch channel to find out more information about it, and you can also follow BSL on Twitter at @BombasticStar. So go do those so you can be notified whenever BSL is on. It's Saturdays and Sunday nights for me. I think it's Friday and Saturday for some other people in the world. I'm having a hard time with time zones because I've been traveling a lot, but the idea is that you should all know when BSL is on, and at the very least just check Team Liquid. That'll show you.
Yeah, you can check Team Liquid, you can check Bombastic Star League page, but you should also go and follow Mr. Rapid, who is here with us, and it's 5 a.m. in Korea, and he's sacrificing so much just to be able to support the Foreigner Brood War. So huge thanks to him, and go and follow him and make a very nice comment about him. Follow his Twitch, follow his Twitter. He's also Africa Star League and Korean Star League caster, so he's professional caster, which is bringing some international professionalism to our BSL. So I'm very thankful to you, Mr. Rapid.
Well, of course, we couldn't have BSL if there were no viewers watching, so a big thanks to all the viewers too. But I'm ready to go to show the viewers some games 0. So let's get into game number 4. The map is Sylphid. DragOn is up 2-1 over Nyoken.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 4 of the BSL round of 8 playoffs. In the 12 o'clock location at the top of the map is our orange Terran player Nyoken, and his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner is our yellow Canadian Protoss player DragOn. And this is orange versus yellow, so those are pretty similar colors. But the Kakaroos on this map are blue, so they're also hallucinations, which is weird to me. So I never noticed that before. I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, I never noticed that before too, but
I didn't know you could hallucinate neutral, I don't know what you call it, critters. So now you guys know what a hallucinated Kakaroo looks like.
Oh yeah, there are still a lot of things we don't know about StarCraft. If you would think about some things, like if you would think like the Edmond Duke, the battlecruiser which is falling on the 12 and 6 o'clock of Eddie, like how much armor is it have? Because it's not Raiden, but the units can deal full damage to it. So it's like the things we don't know for sure in StarCraft still exist.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many cool things about like little tiny maps. I'm pretty sure like Freakling is the only guy that actually knows all these tiny little things about all the maps. It's kind of crazy. Lots and lots of details to know about. So if you guys get angry that maybe casters don't know that the lurker eggs outside the player's bases have 200 HP exactly and the same amount of armor as normal lurker eggs, like yeah, nobody knows those things.
But besides first game, DragOn is playing very safely all the games. He's going for the gateway and the assimilator one game after another, so he don't want to risk anything. He's confident in his skill.
Yeah, he won his 12 Nexus opener game. I think he would actually have a good do a good job with another 12 Nexus opener because Nyoken keeps going for gas. And so sometimes that means that he's a little bit too defensive. He's not doing a 1-Rax expand either, so he's not trying to build an early barracks that might punish 12 Nexus expand. Both players are just going for completely the same openers in the last couple of games. And I think we're going to see this for the remainder of the series. But Nyoken knows that he can't lose any more games, so he might try something desperate.
Yeah, I would like to see some kind of 2-fact or maybe 1-base dropship play. It's very interesting because sometimes we can see that Flash is doing that and it's dealing abnormal amount of damage, and then like I'm doing it and it's not working. So it's really interesting to see because these drops are having huge potential, but you have to do it correctly too.
Yeah, you do have to do it correctly. There's a lot of ways to not do it correctly and then you just lose. So very important to practice that. And I think most of Brood War, like when you watch players like Nyoken play, or if you watch AS, you should definitely go watch those ASL finals. They were pretty good. But if you watch pro players play, they already know. So it's not like it's a mystery. They see something and they know how to counter it. If you guys are playing out there on the ladder, for most of you, you got no idea how to do most of this stuff. So you just got to try it. You got to get out there. You got to fail a lot, but hopefully in failing you learn, hey, maybe I can't do it that way. And then you figure things out. And in truth, you know, Flash has played the same exact game like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times because he's just played thousands of games of Brood War.
Yeah.
But for you guys who haven't played 1,000 games of Brood War, every game is a new and mysterious wonderland. So you never know what to expect, and there's so many new cool things to figure it out. So Brood War is actually more fun for you guys than it is for pro gamers. You already know what to expect out of everything.
Yeah, and you are not stressful as they are that you are losing money when you are losing. So it's even, I would say that there is esport, there is StarCraft, and there is normal sport. It's like semi-esport, semi-normal sport because you have to have also very good condition to do it.
Yeah, certainly. So you can definitely have some fun on ladder. You don't have to worry about losing, you know, $30,000 like you know, one of the players did in ASL today. That was a little heartbreaking. Actually, there was a big StarCraft 2 tournament going on that I was casting called WESG, and in the grand finals, the difference in the prize pool between first and second place is like $100,000. So if you lose that game, then you lose like $100,000. And oh man, it's so crazy.
And I thought it was Serial versus Innovation, and it was 4-3, so it was actually just one game for $100,000.
Yeah, very, very crazy games. So if you're into StarCraft 2, watch that. But my point is that most of the time there's a lot of money on the line. And actually tonight there's a lot of money on the line because both of these players are trying to trying to win to advance on to the next round, where there's a lot more money. So to talk about the game just a little bit, super standard openers, exactly the same builds from both players as we had last game. So nothing different at all, basically.
Yeah, nothing different. And I said to you that on it was a map Eddie, when DragOn made 3 gateways, I thought it will be aggressive opening, but I can see that he's doing that. It's a normal opening for him when he wants to go tech heavy. So maybe this time when he's having these 3 gateways, he will be able to apply some pressure on Nyoken and still go for this tech heavy style. Let's see what will be his choice, because Nyoken this time, I think he built the second factory before the... Oh no, that's not true. He built the academy before the second factory. So you are right, it's almost everything the same as the previous games.
Yeah, very, very similar here. So let's see what where we start to have some differences, because I think DragOn did a good job with his carriers in the last game. Even though they were scouted almost immediately, Nyoken still lost to them. So that clearly means that DragOn is pretty good at using them, and there's a lot of great places for carriers to be used on this map. Just I think at the 12 o'clock base, where Nyoken is spawned, there's a very, very big ledge that you can put your carriers over. So lots of good places.
Yeah, in the previous game the carriers worked, so maybe in this time it will work too. But I think that DragOn might go for the Devil's style this time, because he's going for quick third expansion without any Stargate, without any Citadel of Adun. So it might be a gateway man.
Yeah, gateway man, alive and well here. If he does find a place to build all those gateways, then sure. But he hasn't thrown down a ton of them just yet. He's got 3. Might need to see a little bit more if he wants to just stick on heavy gateway units. Best is a little bit of a gateway man. So every time I think about, or every time I see games like this, I think about Best's style that he likes to use with a lot of early gateways. But you're right, he does have only gateway units so far.
Yeah, you are right. There is some area to build gateways, but if he will decide to go like 15 of them, it might be hard to fit them in properly. But is this pylon wall tight? Isn't it possible for the vultures to sneak in? It should be tight, right?
Yes, Yeah, I think the pylon is tight. What's weird is like, so technically a pylon I think takes up 4 squares on the map, but the terrain around it actually has a different pixel size depending on how it works. So it can look like it's not tight, but I think that is actually vulture tight.
Okay, that's good.
There's a lot of weird math that happens with like the thickness of a unit and the thickness of the space between buildings. So yeah, I don't know how it works, but it's crazy.
It's like you have to build the supply depot on top of the barracks just to have it link tight, on the right side of the barrack just to have it zealot tight, but if you do it on the left side or on the bottom side, it's not tight even against zealots. So it's pretty hard job to know all these things.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Somebody made a decision to make it that way, but maybe that guy understands it.
Oh yeah.
So actually, this is looking very similar to the pushes that DeWalt would do. He'd build up a bunch of gateway units, and then he'd go try to kill this third base for the Terran, and I think he might just be doing that. Siege up is a little bit late, but actually the shuttle didn't have much in it to drop on these tanks, so even though they're sieged and they're not dealing a lot of DPS, because the Dragoons are actually able to just get right up on top of them. There's 2 tanks that come in from the main, but everything's gonna die here. And oh man, this is so bad for Nyoken. He loses his entire army.
Yeah, he built up the tank count for the whole game, and now he's left with only 1. So it will take him forever to rebuild these tanks, especially that he's doing that with only 1 machine shop. So it will be much harder for him to take this base, and he badly needs it.
He really badly needed it. This is looking a lot like DeWalt's games versus Terror yesterday. But in the end, those mines really did help Nyoken a lot. They killed like 2 or 3 Dragoons and allowed him to sort of retake this high ground. Because the Dragon caught him before the tanks were sieged. Just perfect job there, pushing in to take out this army. And now there's mines, now there's vultures, marines, turrets, everything's in the way of these Protoss units. But Dragon's still able to deny mining for a little bit.
That's really, that's impressive how well he's playing, because in the first 3 games he was stacking heavily, and in this game he's going very aggressive style, and he surprised Nyoken. He wasn't siege moded, and he wasn't in a position he should be to defend it, and that's why he dealt so much damage. So very nicely done by DragOn.
Looks like Dragon's trying to maybe commit to this a little bit more. Zealots on the tanks in the back actually doing quite a bit of damage here. The Marines die off, but the Vultures are actually MVPs so far, doing a lot of damage to these Dragoons as they move forward. Good blocking there by the SCVs. Actually, they stopped the Vultures from escaping, and I think the entire army here from Dragon's going to die. But he is doing quite a bit of damage to the worker line, and resetting the tank count is super important. But in the end, Nyoken's got 3 bases. He holds on, stabilizes, stays alive. And now it looks a little bit like game 2, where Dragon overcommitted to trying to kill this base, and then wound up losing to the counter push. But this time, it went a lot better.
Yeah, it's definitely looks much better for Nyoken. Look at the supplies there. He's even having a dropship. It's scouted by the observer, but overall, it's a good attempt to harass a little bit. He's scanning everything, so he wants to know what is going on. But I think he didn't scan the Arbiter tech from DragOn, so I don't know if he will be prepared for that.
Well, I hope he's prepared, otherwise this game will just end. I think Nyoken does do a really good job preparing, although he does have 4 idle SCVs at his 3rd base. So maybe he wants to prepare those to work. The idea is that he's a very defensive player, and so I think he's very good at trying
huge tank drop!
Defend what? Oh my god, what? How did those even get there? They just killed so many probes. Oh no, the probes are coming back! Oh, but they're not in range. Wow,
and the minefield is working. He's killing so many dragons. Very nicely done by Nyoken. And he's taking mineral only behind it.
It's such a big brain play. This guy's actually going to kill the Nexus.
Oh, the Zealot bomb might save the Nexus. He's target firing that. Oh, it's too much, I think.
Oh my god. It's so close. The Nexus is gonna barely survive. 97 HP, 87. That is so close. He loses the dropship too. So Wow, less than 100 HP away from killing that Nexus with the drop.
He have opportunity to build one more dropship, so he might be able to do it. Oh, but he's going for the frontal attack in the natural expansion. So Nyoken is not giving up, he's going for the throat.
I hope so. I mean, I feel like when you draw the entire Protoss army out of position and get a chance to set up all of these mines around your army, such a good spot. But now, actually, oh no, maybe we was going to see a mine drag. There's a shuttle with 4 zealots in it, but it actually didn't drop on those tanks. What? Okay, there's one mine drag. It does actually kill a lot of this.
Oh, this mine might be so bad!
Oh no! Everything kind of blows up. Not the mines necessarily, but wow. What a way to go. Oh, rip Nyoken.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say that. It was such a nice push, but just he clumped all the tanks in the one place, and this was the crucial mistake.
Yeah, I didn't spread those out at all. I mean, it's easy to hit O and just like siege everything up, but unfortunately, yeah, those are not going to help you out when the zealots run on top of your tanks. Just like now. Oh, insta unsiege. Nice job there, Nyoken. He does actually unsiege those tanks in time to stop them from dying. But hey, there's already an Arbiter push coming out for DragOn. So Nyoken has his hands full trying to defend this nice D-Matrix on the front tank.
Very nice
keeping it alive. But, oh man, this is actually overextending by DragOn. He actually just loses all of his Dragoons there.
Fortunately for him, he's having 12 gateways in the main base, so his production is huge. And he's mining from 4 bases. So he's not... Oh, and now Nyoken is having no vision. And I don't like the small engagements from him. I would like to see him building big army and then maybe move out, because now DragOn is just having too much, and the numbers are not good for Nyoken overall.
Yep, definitely not. I think for Nyoken, his biggest chance at surviving is just pull back all the way to the 3rd base, try to hold up and see if he can get some value out of this 4th base that he has behind it. This 4th base actually might be a surprise to DragOn. I don't know if he scouted that yet.
Now he just realized that there might be an expansion, so
yeah.
So this will be a shock for him, and let's see what will be the reaction, because nothing is defending this base, and Nyoken already mined like over 1,000 minerals from it, so it's really useful expansion.
Yeah, very useful. It will allow him to continue pumping out all of these vultures. Let's see how many factories does Nyoken have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now going up to 9 facts. So on 3 bases, 9 facts is crazy mode, but on 4, it's a lot more doable. And Nyoken actually feels like he can expand to the 3 o'clock location here. I don't know about that one, my man. This is going to be very difficult to hold on against. And I think he might actually just have to cancel it as soon as DragOn's army shows up over there.
Oh, but is DragOn expecting that? Because it's very ballsy to go for that kind of expansion. Oh, and if he will deny this mineral only, it will be such a huge move for DragOn, because he's expanding by his own, and if he will deny one of the bases of a Terran, it will be a great move for him. Oh, the Zealots might be so terrible. This bombs. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Well, that's one way. A great storm there as well on the front 2 tanks. There's a lot of tanks in the back, but they're not actually sieged. So this entire Protoss army for DragOn gets to totally re-expand. Nyoken sieging tanks in the front lines with no vultures here. Oh, this is tragic. Zero, I think we're just going to watch Nyoken lose his whole army again.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, there are only Dragoons left, so maybe he will be able to... No, he's losing just too many tanks. And look at the supplies, it's 50 supply advantage, and DragOn is already sending probes to his 10 o'clock base.
Yeah. Oh, that was a rough game right there. Rough fight. But, I mean, both players are still in it. Nyoken, let's see what his upgrades are at. 3-1? I have not seen 3-1 upgrades in a long time, but hey, just keep on powering through that attack upgrade. 3 damage upgrades, those are pretty good, Nyoken. He's got the ability to deal a lot of damage, but I don't think he has the ability to make as many units as he needs to make right now.
Yeah, me neither.
Trying to hold on.
Yeah, the upgrades are helping him hugely, because it's only 1-0 for DragOn. But yeah, he's holding on somehow. The supply advantage for DragOn is getting smaller, but it's still huge economical advantage for him. Somehow Nyoken managed to start mining from this mineral only again.
Yeah, wow, what? I mean, three damage tanks or 3 upgrade tanks are no joke. So DragOn did just lose his whole army, but he has 1, 2, 3, 4 mining bases. Probably that will be good enough to reproduce another one. Losing a bunch of observers out here in the middle of the map with that science vessel. It's good to pick those off. Makes it annoying for DragOn to get vision. But hey, we were talking about those +3 weapon upgrades for Nyoken. It turns out that there's just now, oh wow, it's only +1 for DragOn. Okay, he's about to have +2 ground weapons just now finishing up. So that should be better.
Yeah, definitely. Twice as good as it was. but yeah, Nyoken is now mining from this 3 o'clock base, so if he will stabilize, he will be in very good position. If he somehow will be able to make the 200-200 army with 3-2 upgrades, it will be so hard to break with pure ground army from a Protoss.
I think we're going to see DragOn move in here with that ground army in just a second. There's actually 0 unit. Okay, there's 1 tank defending this 3rd base. So if DragOn had moved in right there, then maybe he could have done a lot of damage. But obviously, you don't want to get too far out of position. And for DragOn, I think he knows that maybe the weakest base to attack would be this 3 o'clock. So immediately a lift there, and the SCV's trying to run to safety. I don't know if you're going to find too much safety out here, SCVs. Maybe one survives. No, they all died. So that sucked. But the command center will stay alive, so that's pretty nice. And now Nyoken can reposition and try to cut this army off as it retreats.
Yeah, he wants it, but now DragOn is in very good position to scout, to intercept the army of Nyoken, and it's not in position. Oh my god.
EMP goes off, but it misses the Arbiter, so it still has stasis energy, and yet Nyoken kind of overextended, running out there, didn't have the minefields or the vultures, and look at that stasis in the back. Oh my god, catches 4 tanks. DragOn stasis, whatever you want to call them. His stasis have got it going on. That's all I'm trying to say. And storm on the the SCVs as well. Oh yeah, that's gonna nuke that base for sure. Yeah. And Nyoken's actually killing the base next to his own base with 2 tanks. That's cool. But I don't think it's
19 kills on these 2 tanks. So yeah, that's huge if he wouldn't lose his third. Because it would be a move that could bring him back to the game. Because DragOn even made a mineral only on 6 o'clock, so he's in very, very good economical position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of dead Dragoons over here, but in the end, I think this is going to be too much damage being dealt to Nyoken. He lost 2 bases, and his Protoss opponent has 5 bases up, or 4 bases mining, even after losing that 6th. So yeah, I think Nyoken's in a really difficult spot. He kind of got punished for not having his tanks siege or minefields up or vultures in position, and now DragOn's just kind of rolling over him.
Yeah, he's not even having a scan to deal with it. It's only 2 tanks shooting. Poor Nyoken is trying his best with all he has, but there is not much left for him.
Yep, I think it's pretty much over at this point. DragOn's just going to keep pushing through into the natural, and Nyoken has to think about what he can buy with his $25 from getting into the round of 8. Somebody said $25 worth of hamburgers. I think that was probably a pretty good suggestion. I think $25 is that enough to buy Warcraft 3 Remastered or Reforged? I think it might be.
How much does it
depending
cost?
on your region. So maybe he goes and does that. I don't know. But either way, I think this is about it. Nyoken is at 61 supply versus DragOn, who's over double that supply.
Yeah.
And killing a Terran with +3 upgrades is pretty hard, but I think DragOn can do it.
Yeah, it's so nice to see how cost efficient that Terran army is, even despite having this number disadvantage. But DragOn just had too much of an army, too great of a macro out of our Canadian Protoss, and congratulations to him. He's joining DeWalt and TrueTouch to be in the round of 4.
Yeah, Koget pointed something out in chat that's really key. It feels like Nyoken's a really great macro player, but sometimes he overemphasizes macro instead of army movement. And several times his army was out of position, or it was pushing to a location but he didn't think to himself, oh, wait, it's not about getting my army there. It's about how I get my army there. You need your minefields, your vultures in the front, and tanks in the back. Because a lot of times he would move his tanks out and then have to say, oh no, run away, and run his tanks away. But uh-oh, tanks
It's
don't
too
really run
late.
away that well. Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, you're right. You need to prepare your area for moving out. You can't just A move. It looks that Flash is just A moving, but it's like he's scanning all the area. He's looking for the Protoss army, and it's not just blindly going for it.
Well, it sucks to see Nyoken go, but that does mean that he will be able to cast with me for next week's games. Although it is
Exactly.
going to be a little bit sad to cast with him after that, but maybe he'll feel better. Nyoken, for those asking, is actually streaming right now. So if you want to go watch Nyoken's stream and tell him all about his games, then you can go do that, and maybe he'll want to talk about them, maybe he won't want to talk about them, but yeah, he is out there. So if you want to ask him some questions, then make sure to go support him while he streams, and of course while he casts BSL.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to go support every BSL player, but Mr. Nyoken is already in the top 8 and he's a caster, he's supporting us a lot, so I posted the link into the chat, so don't hesitate and go and show your love to Mr. Nyoken. And we will go for the short break and we will be back with Dandy versus Bonyth series, so I think this is what everyone was waiting for.
Yeah, alright, so we'll see you soon.
So don't go anywhere. So welcome everyone after a short break. Congratulations to Mr. DragOn after advancing, but now we'll have serious, I think everyone was waiting for Dandy versus Bonyth. PvT on the highest possible foreigner level. What are your expectations, Mr. Rapid?
What are my expectations? I mean, look, how do you cheer against Bonyth? Like, this guy, I don't know. I'm a sick Bonyth fanboy, so let me just preface that at the beginning of everything. I think that Dandy is a good player, and obviously he's been to the finals of BSL twice, is it? Maybe it's only once.
He won BSL4 and he was top 8 in BSL5.
Okay, yeah. So he's been to the finals. He's won the finals. You can't say that Dandy can't win this tournament. But I mean, it's Bonyth. He's so good when he plays his style, but I feel like Bonyth is kind of a mystery to me. I don't understand why it feels like he plays some builds that are not his style and winds up losing because of that. But he's the one making the decisions, so you can't take anything away from him. It's a really complex to be one of the best players at the top, because I remember this used to happen to Jaedong a lot. He's such a fan favorite player. Everybody cheers for him, and then he goes out there and he just bungles some bad build that I'm just like, well, why would you do that if you're so good at playing everything else? But hey, you got to take the wins and the losses, and I think for Bonyth, it's hard to know exactly kind of what form he's in at any given moment. So for Dandy, we know he can do it. For Bonyth, I mean, we also know he can do it. So I'm just really excited, Zero.
Yeah, we have Bonyth isn't like he never won BSL at once, so he is hungry for that victory. I'm sure in the last season he was in the finals and he lost to Eonzek 4-2. So it was very good series, scouts and rivers and stuff. But now we have Bonyth again is close to being in the top. He's in top 4 and he's also close to being. He's fighting for this title, so he badly wants it too. Okay, so
yep. Let's see. What are the maps for? Oh, you already sent the map list to me. You're so on top of things. The blockchain, circuit breaker, Eddy, heartbeat, and benzene. Sweet. So we have to make it at least to heartbeat, so we get a chance to see, I think, the least played map in BSL.
Thanks for the stream.
Yeah, blockchain, and first, as a first map we will see the blockchain, which I always, when I'm seeing blockchain, I feel like this is a carrier map. So why wouldn't you ban it at the beginning as a Dandy? This is the main question. Like, I would like to.
Yeah,
ask
absolutely. Dandy should definitely have banned this one. I have never met a Protoss player that wants to play a Terran on blockchain. It's just yeah, it's rough. So I don't think.
So it's a good map for a Terran, right?
Protoss. Yeah, so I said that. I think I said that the right way around. But yeah, it's rough because your bases are all low ground. They're surrounded by high ground. Like, you're just asking to have tanks dropped up there. And for the I guess for the most part, it can be a good carrier map just because of the way that the architecture works around the bases with those little Ursidon pits. But I don't know. It's I'm not totally sure about that. Thanks for the stream.
Yeah, me neither. So if you could join the lobby, we could start the game, Mr. Rapid.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I'm slow.
No problem. It's 5 AM. I'm still appreciating your sacrifice for our BSL.
I'm so slow. I'm so slow. Zero. Resident sleeper. No, we got this. Yeah, all right, so I'm in. I'm ready to go. Let's get into game number 1 of our second best of 5 of the night. It's going to be Bonyth playing off against the BSL champion Dandy, coming up in a few seconds. All right, well, welcome everybody. The map is blockchain, and in the upper right-hand corner is our yellow Terran player, Dandy. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner in the red is his Protoss opponent, one of the best Protoss players in the current scene right now, just like Dandy is one of the best Terrans. It's Bonyth. And so that's why when Zero asked me earlier, like, well, Reed, who do you think is going to win? Well, Yeah, there's no real easy way to cut it. I would say that maybe Dandy is the best. You know, there's types of like legendary players. There
Yeah.
are those players that are so talented. When they win, it's like an art form. It's so beautiful to watch them play. But it's very rare that you have players that are both beautiful and creative, but also consistent. And I feel like Bonyth is one of those players that is very artistic. His
Yeah.
one base, everybody knows his shuttle reaver play is incredible. His ability to play like weird strategies can be very, very good. But I think also he struggles with some consistency sometimes because he, he can't, practice a million hours a day and devote this to full time. Whereas Dandy is a very solid player. He's so just like mechanically like sound that he can win finals because he is just he's covering so many options. It's not like he's too defensive, but he's just a very solid player. So sometimes that is a virtue as well.
Yeah, you're right. Dandy is definitely, it looks at least, because he's streaming much more, but it looks like that he's also practicing much more than Bonnie. But you're right, Bonnie is a player that it's pleasure to watch his playstyle because he's macroing, so it's always nicer to see a micro player than a macro player. At least from my perspective, it's much more exciting because usually the game is shorter and it's much more intense because this player is trying to do many things at the same time. But you are right, sometimes Bonnie, because he's not practicing enough, he's just forgetting his microcycles and stuff, so he's doing mistakes like everyone who's playing Blue World.
Yeah, no, but the micro players are always way more fun. That's why Boxer is such a legend. It's not just that he wins games, but that he looks so cool doing it. So if you can do both of those, then yeah, you're going to be a pretty good player. So let's actually talk about a little bit of what's happening in the game. Both players are scouting each other correctly, but Danny had a much earlier scout, so he's going to get in here and see everything. And this game should remind you a lot of the last game because we have gas expands from both players.
Yeah, and yeah, the beginning is exactly the same, and even Bonnie scouted with the probe, which is not very usual for him. He mainly scouting with the first zealot, but thanks to this probe scout, he will know where to send his first zealot, so he will be able to harass Dandy as quickly as it will be possible.
Yeah, as fast as he can. The zealot will run up the ramp. There's nothing that Tiny Marine can do about it except run away. But thankfully, the depot and barracks position are good enough that the Marines should be able to hide back there. But hey, actually, this zealot getting quite a few hits off, and is still in a pretty interesting place. Now, there is a pylon being built very close to Dandy's base, but I think that might just be to scout later on to hide it, unless
it might be Reba.
I think it is, and man, there's no more iconic Bonyth build than Proxy Reaver. And the great thing about Proxy Reaver is you don't have to have an exit to the proxy location. Just like there's no way for the Reaver to move on its own because you build them both from the same building.
Yeah, you're right, and it will be not scouted with by Dandy for sure, so he might defend against it just because he will expect that Bonnie might do such a thing.
That's actually a good idea. Actually, maybe the smarter proxy location would be to build it, I don't know, somewhere that's outside of that scouting pattern particularly. But he's got a Dragoon pressure at the front to stop a scout from getting up that ramp. So this is a really, really well thought out build by Bonyth. Look at what Dandy's doing. He's like, okay, he's blocked my entrance down there. I'm going to scout out the other direction, which of course is away from the proxy. Really well thought out by Bonyth.
Oh, I wouldn't think about it, but now it looks so brilliant that he's just showing few units over there, and Dandy decided that I will scout no matter what, so I will just decide to go with the safe path of scouting. Now he's moving out, and will he realize after seeing only 3 Dragoons that this is some kind of tech choice from Bonnie? I don't know. He might also expect the expansion, so he don't have to necessarily expect the fast Weaver.
Yeah, he doesn't have an academy yet, so he can't scan. I think a lot of people just assume that Terran can scan just all the time, but no, you need an academy. Oh no, he's gonna dive on the tanks. He's picking the
Oh
tanks
my
off.
God.
He's got 4 Dragoons, so he can pop them in 2 volleys. One of them does die. The second Dragoon dies. The next 2 have a lot of shields here, but this is so big for Bonyth. That means there's no tanks out with his army. The Marines are gonna die as they run back. Huge move there. Bonyth both proxies this Reaver and picks off all the tanks and the units out on the map. Oh, he's got to kill the mine!
Yeah.
Ugh, that was scary.
Yeah, but this was 2 Dragoons with 12 kills. It was such a huge value. And even if you are losing 2 Dragoons out of 4 to kill 2 tanks, you would always go for that kind of exchange.
And you know this is so crazy. This Shuttle and Reaver are going to fly in before turrets. There are 0 units that hit air. So if you thought Bonyth was a good Shuttle Reaver play, you're about to see why.
Yeah, and there will be only 1 tank, so if Bonnie will decide to kill it, there will be nothing to defend against this Reaver, so...
Alright, get your G's ready. G, 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 G. Oh no! Oh, this is so painful watching SCVs try to kill a Reaver. It's like, no, that's not what happens. It's the other way around. There it is. Alright, well, the fireworks coming out in game number 1. Bonyth is back at it again. The Reaver God is smiling today on his favorite son, Bonyth. I like to think of, you know how Hercules is the son of Zeus, right? So he's half man, half god. I like to think of Bonyth as the Hercules of StarCraft, except that instead of Zeus as his father, there's some all-powerful Reaver god that like blesses his son with superhuman Reaver control. What a god, man! That is such a Bonyth game.
Yeah, so he is a... Like there was a Jor-El and Kal-El in the Supermans, like so he is the Bone-El, I think. So yeah.
yeah. He's basically Superman, except he crashed in Poland instead. So
yeah, exactly. And there was like what was the name of the family? It was Clark Kent. So the Kent family in Poland. Kent probably or something like that.
It's Bonyth Kent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he wants to be a superhero at Reaver Control, he takes off his Bonyth glasses, and that's how you know he's a super.
Yeah, the Horatio Kane glasses.
Yeah, he's got a superhero suit. He's got like a Superman suit, but instead of an S in the middle, it's just a giant B for Bonyth or an R for Reaver Man. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. That's. We need to buy these shirts, and we need to do that for the next season for the players. Like, Aeon Zerg, it would be like Z-Leg. Zerg and Bonnie would be like P like a Protoss. I don't know. I'm not very creative with English. Okay, let's see how the games what will be the next map of the game, because we are already having Bonnie leading 1-0 in the series, and the next map will be Circuit Breaker. So it's we talked about it earlier, and it's a relatively good map for a Terran.
Man, so I'm looking at the way that this map, or that this tournament could go. Yeah, you're right. I agree there, but I was looking at what the possible matchups are, and if DeWalt or True Touch win, and then maybe Bonyth advances to face DragOn, or even Dandy versus DragOn would be like super insanely good series. Every single series from now until the grand finals is just the best. We've got DeWalt versus True Touch in the other semifinals. Whoever wins this versus DragOn is going to be sick matchup, and then the finals, just oh my god, I can't believe it. It's so good. So I'm just so happy with the way this is going, and I think that maybe Bonyth is maybe the fan favorite, but like Dandy just wins stuff. He just takes it so good, and so I'm pretty excited to see if he can maybe repeat. Has there ever been a 2-time BSL champion, Zero?
Yeah, True Touch was champion of BSL 1 and 2, but after coming back for the whole foreigner scene, there was no. DeWalt won BSL 3, Dandy won BSL 4, Aeon Zerg won BSL 5, and now Aeon Zerg. Now there is a chance for Dandy and DeWalt still to win for the second time, but until now there was no one who did it.
Yeah, very, very cool to see so many of the players who have won still in the tournament. Anyway, let's get into our next game. You were showing that it was on Circuit Breaker, so obviously a much bigger map. It's going to be harder for Bonyth to pull off kind of crazy you know, cheese like that because it's going to be harder to scout his opponent, I guess. Maybe he just scouts correctly, goes and does it again. But it sucks to lose that way in game one, so I'm hoping that we can get into our next game and see something that lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah, it should be longer than 6 minutes at least. Let's expect that it will be. So let's go to the game number 2 between our Gosu players.
All right, welcome everybody. The map is Circuit Breaker, and in the upper left-hand corner in the purple, it's our Terran player from Peru. It is Dandy. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner in the brown, that's Protoss. This is Bonyth, of course, playing for Poland.
And already a small difference because we had his cross position, and now we will have close spawning, I would call it, because if Bonnie will decide to go for Mineral only, it can be easily punished by Dandy if he will decide to go this for expansion styles, if of course if it will come to that. But on the other hand, it will open some possibilities for Bonnie to be aggressive if his opponent will be closer. Oh, and
yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, what is this? Man, what have you done with my favorite player, Bonyth? The Reaver God? No, he's proxying in the middle of the map. He hasn't even scouted. He's waiting for the... so sometimes you'll see players that do the scout with a second probe because you just gotta find out where you're going, and if you get unlucky with your first few scouts, then it can take a while. So here we go. We've got Bonyth scouting backwards. Well, I guess backwards from the actual spawn location.
Yeah.
So he's gonna scout bottom right, then work his way around.
Oh, and then he's going for fast expansion, so this Zealot might be a very good option for Bonnie to deal some damage to our Peruvian Terran.
Is this 14cc? Yeah.
Oh no,
wow,
it's
that was
a
actually
barracks,
like
a...
oh, it's a barrack. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought that was a CC. I'm bad.
Yeah, it would be, because yesterday we saw a CC misplaced CC just to make a wall in, so you had a...
Yes.
You had a... I understand why would you make
Yeah. A little bit of brain lag. It's important to click on things, guys. Yeah, but that's not what's happening here. It is a barracks expand. So, you know, Marines are only good against Zealots if they have a supply depot up against it. And the supply depot is being built, but it's not finished yet. And here comes this pesky probe.
But why Daddy is making second barracks? Is it for defense, or he will decide to go for some kind of highly aggression mode? I don't know. What is it for? I never seen that build.
Yeah, what is this? I mean, does this count as cheese? You just never see 2 racks openers from Terran players. The probe actually goes into the base and scouts it, which is also incredible. So he knows that the second barracks is coming, and this is such a good scout. Oh, look at the glitching on that Zealot! Yeah. That's insane. That Zealot lost almost his entire shield.
Yeah, exactly.
Just from glitching.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I wanted to say that maybe it was this decision after seeing the proxy in the middle to go for double rack, but on the other hand, you could go for the fast boom bunker. We would be safe too.
I'd also like to point out that during this, Dandy scouted the proxy, almost killed the pylon with an SCV, got 75% of the health off, and then the SCV died to a Zealot. But the important thing to notice is that it's time, Zero. We're gonna go for it. We're pulling the boys, heading out across the map, and this is a lot of units.
Now it's Dandy time to be aggressive. Oh, but Bonnie is doing an excellent job with the micro.
Oh my god! He gets in, kills 2 Marines, and runs away without dying. What are Zealots, if not the gods of a future age? Here comes in Zealot number 2. Alright, here we go. One Marine dead. Oh,
what a
glitch! Was this Warcraft 3? What is that? That's so crazy!
Yeah, and now he will be able to kill this pylon. So it wasn't pointless to spawn it to attack it with the SCV at the beginning. Now it was easier to kill it.
That's the sickest SCV micro I've seen. It's just like so. That's damn. Because like, what's the minimum number of units you need to surround a Zealot? I think it's 4.
Yeah.
For units of that size, that's actually crazy. How do you do it? Dandy's too good. This is why this guy wins BSL.
And overall, this game might stabilize because then
Yeah, but what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dandy kind of fell asleep at the wheel there for a second. He's pushing across the map. He's pushing, and then he just I don't know. Let's use mistake the wheel for a second. He's gonna lose every Marine here, right? Okay, he's not target firing some of the weakened Marines. There were a couple of Marines with like 1 HP, so he maybe could have done a little bit better there. But the proxy's still going. I mean, all he has to do is rebuild the pylon near the gateway in the middle if he wants to.
And he's doing that. You're right.
Yeah, are we gonna get a normal game after this? Dude, you know what I think would be like the best play right now? See, he builds the pylon to repower the gateway, but then he proxies a robo there.
Over there.
And Reaver drops Dandy again.
That would be so bad manner. If it would work, it would be crazy funny, but it would be so bad manner to do that. I don't know.
That would actually. That'd be super bad mannered. But, you know, on the other side, if you really want to be bad mannered from Dandy, you could actually just go deep six him. Just like run across the map with Bio and just bop him. But it's hard to do that if you lose all your early Marines. So that's just my wishful thinking there. But hey, we're getting a two fact behind this.
Yeah, and the range for the Dragoons will be done in a few seconds, so Bonyth will be able to deal some damage to the bunker to pull some SCVs from mining. So he will apply some pressure with the Dragoons, and he's going for the Weaver because, yeah, he's building a shuttle, so it had to be Weaver. It had to be Weaver. Has to be.
Yeah. Okay, this is really exciting. I think Reaver is absolutely the correct way to go here. I wish he would proxy it just to make it cooler, but doesn't have to. There's floating racks that will scout the Reaver when it comes in eventually, but yeah, for now we're just gonna kind of play the waiting game while the SCVs repair the bunker, the Dragoons hit it, and the Reaver gets ever closer to being built.
Yeah, the robotics support bay is just ended, and Bonyth is already attacking the bunker with 4 Dragoons, so this is a huge horsepower, and now he will try to snipe the SCVs, so all this bunker is in there huge trouble.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Ooh, I don't know what we're supposed to do. The bunker goes down, the Marines are starting to die, the Dragoons can kill everything. The tank is out though, but siege mode's not done yet. So these Dragoons can just run all the way up here and start killing SCVs. This is terrible for Dandy. Oh my god, this is so much damage. Every unit that Bonyth makes just does more than every other unit in the game. I'm so surprised. He's gonna kill the depot at the front.
And there will be no wall to save Dandy anymore, so he needs to seek the glitch. Oh, Bonyth hesitated for a second, and it might be a mistake.
Oh, is he gonna kill the tank? Wow, that tank survived on like single-digit health. Oh my god, repair is so good, Zero.
Yeah, it's sick how good it is. I'm experiencing that when I'm microing Mutas against turrets, and all the SCVs are starting to repair turrets, and you can't kill it with evil Mutas. So it's actually sick. But then he's already making turrets to be prepared against Weaver, so he should be fine overall if he will not let the Weaver to get in. But Bonyth found a gap, and he's in the main base now.
Yeah, wow, Bonyth getting in here with a Reaver. Where's my anti-air? Oh, what? It's non-existent? Well, there's one Reaver shot, and there's another Reaver shot, and there's another Reaver shot, and this is just getting from bad to worse. Does need to kill this turret before it comes up. And yeah, so that turret will never be built. Wow, so this is this game over? I mean, he can kill every SCV with this Reaver, right?
I mean, the good part for Dandy is that he's having expansion, and then Bonyth is still on 1, and he's just building his own.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, this might be huge.
Oh! This Reaver already has like 10 kills. And he's going to be able to kill these tanks with it too.
He killed like 2 tanks right now, and he will kill the 3rd one, I think. Oh, and
he's just going to go into the natural.
Oh, they are much
Oh my
small.
god. Oh, drop the Reaver.
He's just teasing.
Yeah. Look at how bad the mining is. The SCVs are mining from the outside of the mineral patch. No siege. Gets one shot off, kills the siege tank with a Reaver. Oh, it's so good. I love watching Bonyth Reaver play. He's just doing so much damage.
Yeah, exactly. And now he will not be able to escape, I think, from this. Like, he's trapped, but he can still deal some damage. Oops.
Okay, well, that's a little bit of an oops. Oops, I did it again. But there's so many Dragoons outside the base here. How many tanks are there? Is there one tank? Okay, there's 2 tanks. That's the only attacking units that that Dandy has. He's just gonna get busted so hard here. 8 Dragoons one-shots a tank if he focuses it, so he can just go up there. There's only SCVs to fight. You know, SCVs are pretty good, but there's okay, yeah, still only 2 tanks. Even with mischance, I think you can just power those down. There's more Dragoons on the way. Oh, actually, there's a Reaver that crawled all the way across the map.
Oh my god. That was probably the Reaver which took the most distance in the whole StarCraft history. But because it had to be from the main base. Bonnie was busy microing probably, and he just built it and set up the rally point. But it will still have some usage because he have 2 zealots and the shuttle going for it. So it might be the final bust from Bonnie because it's only 2 tanks left, and then he's not building. He just started to build 2 more. It is definitely not enough.
Oh, well, you know, this was a very scary game for a while. Still, like you said, only 2 tanks. And actually, inside Dandy's base, he's building a command center. He's like, oh, no, I got this. I'll just hold with 2 tanks, you know. But, hey, what happens if a Zealot gets on top of your 2 tanks? What about that? Hmm?
Yeah,
Is that going to kill you? Are you dead instantly? Yep.
He dead instantly, you're right. And yeah, maybe it was the only option for Dandy to get back to this game, to make third expansion. But it was a risk he took, and it didn't work.
Oh well, that's the end of our second game. Bonyth kind of speedrunning this. You know, both of these games are not standard by any means, right? Proxy Reaver in game number 1, Proxy Gateway in game number 2, and then this weird rubber band fight where the Marines push across the map, they all die to Zealots, and then they run back home. And it's just, that was a really fun game. I love watching these personally as a caster, as a viewer. They're probably super exciting. But you got to know, if you're Dandy right now, you are angry because it sucks to lose that way 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and he had a shot with these Marines and STV bus, but Bonnie Zealot Micro was just too good. He was able to snipe so many Marines because if Dandy would have like 10 Marines, it would be so hard to do anything with the Zealot, but he was lowering the number of the Marines consistently, and thanks to that he defended that push relatively well.
Well, very well played there by Bonyth. I mean, it's not like Dandy is losing, he's just getting Bonyth, right? So
yeah, I mean, just Bonyth.
What do you do in game number 3, right? We're moving on to In the Way of an Eddy, if I'm not mistaken. So
you're right.
What a great map. Eddy has so many proxy locations, it's unreal. It's harder to find proxies on Eddy than it is on Python. Like it's just, there's so many opportunities. So I really hope that something crazy comes out here for Bonyth, because we have to have 4 games to make it to Heartbeat, which is the map that I want to see in game 4. But maybe Bonyth is too good. He just takes the 3-0. I don't know. Me
neither. Let's see how it goes. I will just create the game, and we can see who will be, if it will be the last game of today, or if we have 3 more.
I'm really sad, Zero, while you're creating the game, because I've also run out of all of the Polish candy and stuff that I bought while I was in Poland at the airport. So I finished that yesterday while I was casting, and now I woke up today and I realized I don't have any more of that. So you being Polish kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, oh wait, now I have nothing else to snack on during BSL.
So you are saying about Krówka?
Oh yeah. I actually just finished it, maybe this morning or something. So.
It's giving you a lot of energy. It's like sugar. If you are diabetic, it's not good for you. But it's huge amount of sugar.
I was so surprised. This thing, so it's in a box like this. It's like this. If you've ever had it's like it's some sort of like pound cake kind of thing, but it's really dense, and it's basically sugar and butter, and maybe some like cake stuff in there too. But it's just so many calories. I had no idea. But I was like, I want to buy something Polish while I'm in the airport. So I bought it. I started to eat it. It was great. And then I realized I was consuming like 4,000 calories.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm realizing that too after like when I'm going to bed and I want to watch some TV series, I'm taking some candies, and when I'm waking up, I see that I ate whole box, and it's like, okay, so I ate enough calories for the next day. So now I shouldn't eat anything just to look good, and I'm not.
Well, actually, the secret is that while I was also buying that, I found, and this is the best part about being in Europe, I found some Jaffa cakes as well. So these are my Kicks got me addicted to those while I was in UK, and I'm still addicted. So I just bought a bunch and brought them back with me. So those are my food adventures. I was just stalling to get into the game because I'm actually lazy and bad at doing that. So we can actually get back to the StarCraft 0 if you want to.
Okay, let's go. Game number 3 on In the Way of an Eddy. Bonyth versus Dandy. Let's go.
All right, here we go. The map is in the way of an Eddy in the bottom right-hand corner in the red, as Protoss is the player who's up 2-0. It's Bonyth. And in the upper left-hand corner, in the, man, I never know what's called this. The skin color, peach, whatever you want to call it. This is, I don't know, light brown? It's Dandy, of course, from Peru.
Yeah, for me it's white, or maybe yellow. I don't know. It's probably white yellow.
Is it white?
I don't know.
Is that?
I don't know too many colors.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I only know like white, black, and the other colors. Like, so if it's one of those other ones, I just say it's not the other two. Anyway, just try to keep it simple here. Brood War's a hard enough game without having to deal with colors everywhere. Let's see. So wait a second. All we have to watch for is whether or not Bonyth is going to proxy. And he hasn't scouted with a probe yet, so I think he's going to build his gateway in the main. Okay, wow.
Yeah, and he's scouting with the pro. That's unusual from him. I always seen him playing PvT, and he was trying to keep this probe in the main base just to have a little bit more income. But now he decided to do that scouting. So maybe he will skip the Zealot and go straight for the Dragoons. I still don't know.
Maybe. I think the biggest thing that I want to see is like, like super fast Reaver. He kind of did that with the proxy, but I'm talking about like you skip Dragoon range, you just go. Basically, yeah, game number 1 again. I think when I see Bonyth play heavy Reaver styles, the games are just amazing. He wins every time, but he doesn't play like that all the time because obviously, if you play that every single game, you know people are gonna figure you out. But even then. Yeah. Bonyth still makes it work even when people know it's coming. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's incredible because sometimes you know that because when a 1-1-1 build came in TVZ, it was like I knew that it is coming and I knew how to defend, for example, for the first Vulture and the Raid. But for the follow-up, it took me like 25 games to understand how this 1-1-1 build works. So it's also hard to adjust to Bonyth's strategy because he's thinking a lot about what he's doing. And his opponent needs to understand his think process to deny this build from happening.
Yep. Well, Bonyth has scouted Dandy, so he knows where he has spawned. Whereas the reverse is not true. Dandy still has yet to get across the map, but he will be there soon enough. But hey, after Bonyth scouted the main, what is this probe doing over here?
Oh, are you thinking the same as I am?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Pinky?
Oh yeah!
There it is!
At least the proxy pylon for scouting, but it might be more. It still might be more. Oh, 2 factories from the main base. From Dandy. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's going to be a 2-fact build. I just noticed that if you click on the pylon while it's building, it has the Ukrainian flag. It's blue on the top and yellow on the bottom. So, sick. Anyway, let's watch the Zealot work. He's going to kill 1 Marine. No! Oh my goodness. Almost kills the 2nd Marine. There, but certainly very injured. But man, what are we doing with this pylon? Oh, there it is! Proxy Robo.
Oh my god. And two factories from the main base should be a good call to hold it, right? Because he will not spend money for command center and defending the natural. He will just make pure units out of his main base. So it will be main base Terran versus main base Protoss, because I think Bonnie Weaver was based on Terran going for expansion and spending a lot of resources over there, but now this, I feel like this double factory from the main base is a perfect response to what Bonnie is doing.
Yeah, two facts, it's going to be a really good response to this. Having a bunch of tanks is going to make it pretty hard to find a good place to drop that Reaver. And actually, one thing that you can do is just slow push with the Reaver, but I don't think the timing is going to work out for that. It's a good way to like siege through the front, but obviously if siege mode is done or the tanks are just running you over, kind of hard to stop that. So here's the first tank and the big push out from the 2-fact. But hey, Dragoons are perfectly in position to try to stop this. This is exactly what you want to do as Protoss. Just keep the Terran player from pushing just across the map. And he's doing a great job doing it. He's also on top of the high ground on this ramp, so he's not taking any mischance, which is
oh my god, such a huge micro from Bonnie.
Oh my god,
every single Marine.
All the Marines.
Yeah,
and he only lost 1 Dragoon.
And remember, he's going for the Weaver, so Marines could snipe the shuttle, but now when he cleared all of them, there is no anti-air for Dandy.
Yeah, is there going to be anti-air? I don't see any, like, there's no Goliaths, there's no turrets, there's no Marines. This could be pretty good.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I don't know what to expect, but it looks very good for Bonnie on the one hand, but on the other hand, then the army is so scary, so I don't know how Bonnie could defend against it in the main base.
Well,
It will be 3 tanks versus 3 dragons.
Yeah. Oh no, the Vulture scouted the proxy! That's so sick!
Oh,
how do you check there?
I don't know. But
the Reaver's gonna get out, right? Yeah. So the Reaver's guaranteed gonna get out, but it has no scarabs. It's gonna get picked up eventually. The Dragoon gets dropped out and picked up, and so now he's gonna head into the main. But the proxy scouted. Oh no, he's gonna lose all of his tech here. But can he actually hang on? Oh my god, how good are these Reaver scarabs gonna be? Oh, there's the first one. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Second one.
And he's returning all the tanks, so he's not going for counterattack.
Yeah, I actually thought he was gonna go across the map to a counterattack. Maybe that would be unwise, but let's see how good these Reaver scarabs go. Oh wow! He actually took a ton. Yeah, he took a ton of damage from those tank shots.
So now he needs to be careful because, of course, Bonnie is going for the expansion behind. But if he will lose this Weaver, the ground army of Terran will be so powerful that it will be so hard for Bonnie to hold it.
Now mines are being laid in the main, so it's going to be pretty difficult to drop this Reaver down. The tanks kind of A-move tracking the shuttle. And there is 1 Marine out, so eventually it's going to get pushed away.
Yeah, they are escorting the shuttle towards the Protoss base. And there is still like 4 Vultures and 5 tanks from Dandy. It's so powerful. Oh, and
yeah,
he built another Robo in the main base. Bonnie loves his
Okay. Yeah, so he remade the Robo so he can keep making Reavers. Now, Reavers are great against this build by Dandy because as a Terran, it's really hard to push when your Protoss opponent has Reavers because you try to walk up to him and you just get a Scarab in the face. But Bonyth's not actually doing that. He's not dropping the Reaver to try to pick off these tanks as they move across the map. He's trying to build one back at home, defend with gateway units, and then also use the Shuttle Reaver to stop this push like you're seeing here.
Yeah, you're right. He should. Maybe he should. I feel like he should use this Weaver, as you said, just to slow down the Terran push until bit. But now Terran is very close, and he's very close to finishing the siege mode. And when the siege mode will be done, I feel like Dandy will slowly try to go towards the natural base of Bonnie.
Well, ooh, scary. Taking too many tank shots. I think the Reaver, one of the Reavers is healed up. He's got 2 Reavers in here, so he's gonna double drop, and that just means, oh man, this should be pretty easy to break, unless he pulls like a mini and drops 2 Reavers into 4 tank shots and loses them both instantly. Not to spoil the ASL finals or anything, but yeah, it's there. So, Vultures get in, they're laying mines in the main, and now they're gonna start killing probes, and the Dragoons can't even get down here. The mines are just delaying them so much.
He's killing so many probes with these 2 Vultures. Very good job out of Dandy, and he's still keeping this tank contain. The
yeah,
only
that's
thing
9
he's missing
kills
is expansion.
on those Vultures. Wow. Well, finally the Vultures are cleaned up, but there's a shield battery at the front. I don't think there's any way that Dandy can break through here, but he is putting on a lot of pressure. Let's see how good these Reaver shots can be.
The tanks are very well spread, and the dragons are trapped in this wall-in of a Bonyth. But Bonyth is having speed shuttle, so he can go for the counter-attack, and he's doing that.
Yeah. Bonyth is going to go for the counterattack. There are turrets and mines up, but it's not perfect coverage at all. You can drop a Reaver at the top of the main, or just at the natural and start pushing your way in, and there's a lot of great coverage there. But instead, he's going to fly right into the mines and the turret. He can actually just target down these... Oh no, the mine! He killed the mine with a Reaver shot. Okay, what a goes-to.
Oh,
yeah, he's going to kill every supply depot.
That's also good.
Damn, this is a really sick game. This counterattack is going to be crazy.
Oh my god, I love to see how the supply depots are dying instantly.
Yeah, all of these depots are going to die, so Dandy is going to be way supply blocked. But, you know, he's got all the supply he needs, kind of. He's going to be able to kill the natural expansion. I think Bonyth can hold his main, but let's see if Dandy can retake his main. He's 49 out of 18 supply.
So now you have to spend 500 minerals. The minerals which you would like to spend on the command center, you have to spend on the supply depots.
Yeah, and I think Bonyth recognizes, okay, I did just enough damage there. Time to come back across the map, kill this Terran army, and then retake my natural.
But Dandy again is punishing the probes of Bonnie, and it's only one base. So it's all the probes he has.
Yeah, that's actually crazy how good Dandy was at getting vultures in there, because he is actually dealing a crazy amount of damage. The vultures, I mean, should eventually die. Vultures are actually pretty good against Reavers because you can run them away and they take half damage from the Scarabs. But so yeah, eventually they're gonna get taken out though, theoretically. But hey, still, it's one base versus 1.5 now that Dandy has started building his natural.
Yeah, and look at this, like supplies. I don't know how Bonnie was able to get the supply advantage still. It's 20
I think, yeah, this supply advantage is just crazy. Bonyth, the mastermind, not as successful a proxy as game number 1, obviously, but he's still in an okay spot. He does need to work on expanding though. He doesn't actually have a nexus yet. There it is.
But he lost a bunch of probes, so he have to keep making probes if he wants to play the longer games. He's doing excellent job with the Reaver.
Oh, look at this shuttle Reaver micro. He's picking off tanks across the map. Oh, it's hard to do. He's only gotten, I think, 1 or 2, but he should be able to pick up another one, right?
Yeah, he should, because he's having a zero to tank the shot. Oh, the one tank was misguided, but yeah, now he will save it. So it's pretty fine for Dandy. He's having 5 tanks.
Uh-oh. Whoa, the shuttle almost died. I'm so scared right now. He could actually just siege the front with a Reaver and just kill off the barracks, make it useful, but on the backside, he is getting that Expo up, so maybe it's better to pull back and defend at home.
Bonnie is having 3 shuttles, and every shuttle is having Reaver in it, so it's definitely Reaver heavy style. You're right, his father must be a god of Reaver.
Yeah, no, it's just too good. So I hope that we see more of those. But obviously, right now it's macro mode for Bonyth. He wants to get that eco up and running. There's an annoying mine placed at the 3rd base, so he will need to clean that up. But man, if Bonyth is a Reaver god, then Dandy is like the Vulture god. How does he keep getting Vultures in to kill a million probes with it? Let's count this. We got 2 kills on one Vulture, 3 on another one. And we're not stopping there. These vultures are so annoying. Just gonna mine things up. Oh my god, he gets a free zealot for it.
Yeah, and Bonnie economy is disaster. He's not having any probes in the natural. Of course, he will transfer some of them soon, but still, his income is not very good. But oh, he's going for mass drop.
Yeah, massive drop in the main here. 3 shuttles, massive amounts of Reavers. The shuttles need to move outside of turret range or they will go down. Lots and lots of Reavers. The Scarabs kill the tank. And now all these depots are going to die again. Uh-oh, this is scary. Lots of damage from a massive Protoss drop.
Yeah, but even though that Dandy was prepared for it, he had a bunch of turrets, a lot of tanks being placed. It still did a lot of damage.
That is very true. Well, let's see how much damage we can get here. Bonyth did save both Reavers in that shuttle. The shuttle itself only has like 10 HP, so you gotta get it out of there now that Goliaths are out.
but somehow supplies now are in favor of Dandy. I think that mining from the second expansion gave him a lot of air into his, I don't know what is the word, but yeah, I think he's feeling good with mining from his expansion with relatively good saturation.
Yeah. He's built up his worker number again, and actually the amount that he has cost Danny to just rebuilding depots is crazy. It's like 1,000 minerals by now. So that is certainly something that should be worked on. And because this is in the way of an eddy, you can always get that free third base at the 12 and 6. So that's what Bonyth is going to expand to next by killing the NORAD 2.
Yeah, and as you can see, like NORAD 2 should have 1 armor, but it's just my observation, because Probe is dealing him 4 damage and DragOn is dealing 19. So, but it's not really. I'm wondering if there will be StarCraft 3 when we will have NORAD as a battle user.
Maybe. We can all hope. Ah, now you're just getting me thinking. Maybe. Okay, well, let's see what this Reaver can do. See what that Reaver do. I think he's just dropping them to try to soft contain Dandy right now. But man, Dandy's got a pretty crazy army. His macro is so good. It's pumping off of 5 factories, and he has rebuilt his depot count. So he'll be able to exceed 100 supply for what feels like the first time this game. So while Bonyth is expanding, Dandy is bulking up, and this could be a very scary Terran push, but at least the Reavers will stop it for a little bit.
Yeah, but he needs plenty of Reaver shots like that. Oh, but yeah, but Bonnie is doing a good job. Oh, but the Reaver might die now. It's only 7 HP in the shuttle, so he's like risking a lot by trying to micro on top of this range goal areas.
Yeah, no, this is... Oh, he has to remember to move his shuttle too. If you AFK that thing for a second, it's just gonna float away. So, oh, this is scary, but Bonyth is doing a great job at stopping this tank push in its tracks. Gonna drop a Reaver. Oh, how good are these scarabs gonna be? Gets off a couple, takes out a couple of vultures for free, but these Reavers are on like 5 HP. It's so scary.
And Bonyth behind it, despite being behind so much, he's going for carriers. So already 2 stargates already. So he had a plan to go for a longer game. So he have a plan to go for the longer game, but
well, let's see if he can survive long enough to do that. I feel like every time I see a Protoss player try like 2-base carrier, or I guess it's 3-base in this case, it's just so hard to get there because Terran players will just push across the map with +1 tanks and kill every unit you have. So this is going to be super scary, but there's 2 speed shuttles now. He actually put the 4 zealots in the full health, full shield shuttle, and the Reavers that are at 2 HP are actually in the low health shuttle. So maybe switch those around, but yeah, Bonyth has to hold this push from getting in position up this high ground. It's coming. Here we go. Another observer lost, so that's a nice snipe. And that's really what's allowing Bonyth to know when he needs to stay or go, and it looks like it's go time. Zealots moving forward, but they all evaporate. The shuttle's moving in, but I'm not sure if they're going to have enough time to drop the Reavers. He does get the Reavers out right before the shuttle dies. He's picking them up. He's trying to micro, but the shuttle's at 2 HP. All the Goliaths are running away to stop the Reaver, or to stop the shuttle in the back, and so the shuttle and the Reaver both survive at 7 HP.
And behind it, Dandy is going for expansion, so he's feeling very comfortable. It's not like all-in attack from him. He's trying to play a normal game and still is able to do so much damage to the Protoss. Of course, if the carriers will arrive, it should be fine for Bonnie, but it's still a lot of time until he will have like critical number of 4 at least.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't even have any carriers out yet, so ooh, man, this is just a rough one. Also, he dropped the Reaver in the main, so he has to crawl the Reaver all the way from the main into the natural if he wants to use that at all. And here we go. The push is coming. He has to stall for so long. A good job by that shuttle to drop the probes into the 3rd base to finally get that mining. He's had the base for a long time, but he hasn't been mining from it. This is such a scary push. If he was able to drop in the back, then maybe he can carpet bomb. Yeah, here come the Zealots. The Reaver's in the back. The Reaver's going to get a couple of Scarab chops off, maybe 1, but no tanks died. Bonyth dies. GG Dandy wins game number 3.
That's so impressive out of Dandy. Despite losing so much with these drops, he still hold it on. That's really impressive.
Yeah, wow. And what's more impressive than that is that we get to see our second game ever. No, it's more than that. But we get to see another map of Heartbeat, which is a crazy map. It's got some weird island third bases. I don't know too many other maps that have the same characteristics that Heartbeat does. So I'm really excited for that. I think that Bonyth is... maybe a player that can win with these crazy creative builds, but once Dandy gets a hold of the game and stabilizes it, it's so hard to beat his strong fundamentals.
Yeah, he's having such a high APM and multitasking. His mechanics are so great that the longer games go, the more advantages he's gaining because of the mechanics advantage. And you have to have a lot of APM to be able to play in like below 10th minute of a game. Yeah, so the map is Heartbeat.
The map is Heartbeat. I never know what to expect from Heartbeat because I've seen like a grand total of like 3 games on it. It's maybe a little bit more than that, but it's... So the biggest things are the island expansions near the third. They're impervious to ground, but their minerals are super vulnerable. So, I mean, yeah, you can get there, but they are very vulnerable. Then aside from that, you've got a heart shape in the middle, which can be a little bit hard to move giant armies through. I don't know. It's kind of a cheesy way to... It reminds you of Overwatch. It's like, well, what is Overwatch? It's bases around the edges with an Overwatch symbol in the middle. Like, well, isn't that just a boring map? It's like, yeah, that's just a boring map. Not the new Overwatch, the old 4-player Overwatch from ASL.
I never played this new Overwatch. I mean, I didn't play the new ladder yet. I didn't have time, but there are some new maps, right? Over there.
Yeah, well, one of them is called Overwatch, but it's the old Overwatch, not the new 4-player Overwatch that they made for ASL a few seasons ago. But anyway, all I'm trying to say is that this map has a few characteristics, but the biggest ones are those island third bases that are on the high grounds. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect, but let me load into the game, and we can find out what's going to happen.
Yeah, it is so exciting. I'm so happy for Dandy that he was able to win against Bonyth because we have more series thanks to that, and he showed that because he definitely deserve this win, and I'm very happy that we have this very close series still.
Yeah, I guess both series have actually been pretty good, but this one, I think Bonyth, like I said, he's got the style, he's got the flow, but I don't know if he can if he can keep pulling out these weird like unique proxy strategies, because it feels like Dandy at least knows, hey, let's go find out what's going on out there, because he expects these shenanigans coming up. So I don't know, let's find out. Let's get into game number 4 on Heart.
Let's go.
Okay, here we are. The map is Heartbeat in the upper right-hand corner in the orange. As Terran, this is our Peruvian player Dandy. And his opponent from Poland playing Protoss in the white is Bonyth.
So it's flat map. There are no high grounds over there besides expansions. So it should be pretty fine for a Protoss to apply some pressure, because Terran will not have opportunity to use the high ground advantage to defend the expansion. But on the other hand, there is this small cliff on top of the natural where you can put a tank over there, and it should be safe forever. It's just like on Benzin behind this power generator.
Yeah, it does actually remind me a little bit of Benzine in that regard. But the scary thing for me is if you can get if you can get a third base up, then a lot of times if you have some sort of like you put siege tanks up there, it can make it really hard for the Protoss player, because you can't run zealots into the siege tanks because it's high ground. Yeah. So the only way to stop it is to try to use a shuttle to drop on them, and then you put like turrets up there, like Terrans are probably going to have, and it can be really hard to kind of run that base over because it is an island. So Yeah, just a little bit interesting. We don't actually see those third bases used very often because it can be really easy to assault them.
Yeah.
So usually this map plays out pretty standardly until somebody tries to go for one of those bases.
And looking at this game, Dan is going for Gas's expansion, so he's not afraid of having no high ground. He feels pretty safe going for it, knowing that this is very important game. He can lose to some kind of proxy gateway, but he's testing even the middle of the map if there are some gateways in the heart, inside the heart, in the middle of the map.
Yeah. Well, there's no gateways there now. I think the gateway man is probably more DragOn than Bonyth is.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's going to go for. I mean, everything looks pretty standard up until now. The probe just now getting into the Terran main to see that it was in fact, haha, a gasless expo. Or maybe it's, oh, is he the gas seal? Yes!
Oh, that's pretty weird
Now watch him
from my perspective.
Yeah, watch him go Manor Pylon. You can see he wants it. He's looking, he's eyeing that juicy mineral line.
But he would go for proxy pylon in the natural to deny the command center also.
Oh yeah, he actually could. Wow. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it does kind of delay the command center just a little bit more. Is he going back in for the Manor Pylon? I'm waiting. No, he's not going to go for it. But hey, he's got some great probe control, keeping this alive for a very long time. And here comes the first Zealot across the map. Behind this Dragoon range is coming up, and there's a Goon on the way.
Yeah, but I feel...
Oh, the probe went in.
he stole the gas.
Yeah, he stole the gas from the geyser. Sick. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out of here because there are 3 Marines at the front, but he's got that gas, and nobody can take it away from him.
And now he can mine minerals and stole gas again and mine out Dandy with one probe.
Yeah, go for it. Do it. I love it.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if you remember the map, the Monty Hall?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was possible to do that kind of rush when you were building the refinery and mined minerals and then change minerals for the gas and mine them again. I think Flash did it against someone. Oh, the probe will kill the Marine! He stole the gas and killed the Marine. This is how good probes are.
Make it stop. Okay, well, he's going to lose the probe to the SCV if it doesn't move it. There we go, finally moving that away. But, yeah, damn, this probe is just killing it. Wow, what a god. And, I'm waiting to see if there's going to be like a proxy or anything crazy, but I don't think so. This probe is working overtime.
DT is from Bonnie, so he's not stick to the rivers. Now he wants to surprise Dandy with Dark Templar.
Oh my god, he's going DTs again! Or not again, but he's going for one of these like cool cheesy builds. And maybe this probe is going to kind of tilt Dandy a little bit. Oh man, it's so annoying. It's 5 minutes. There's still a probe in my base. 5 minutes is a great probe timing. If you can keep your probe alive this long, that's actually crazy. Yeah. It went down at 4:45. Caster curse.
But even the assimilator can scout the timing of the factory, so it's still good for Bonnie. You can see that he's already poking the bunker with the ranged dragon, and there is like the factory is not even halfway done. So it will be huge damage being dealt to the Dandy economy to repair it and to not mine with this SCV to the mineral, but he have to repair it.
Man, since I knew Bonyth was like really good at Shuttle Reaver, but I never thought he was like just a super cheesy player. And that's what this looks like. It's just one player cheesing the other one over and over and over again. And maybe this is the right call because Dandy is such a good standard player. So you want to kind of throw him off and go for these weird builds. But hey, first DT's on the way, Zero.
Yeah, but I don't know how Dandy realized that it could be DT, but he made engineering base, so he will make a turret in a second and he should be fine. So it's incredible how good a game sense Dandy has.
Yeah, it's just remarkable. So, Zero, if you look at the bunker being repaired, are those SCV's feet on top of the fire?
Oh yeah, Oh, and he's sniping the turret!
No way!
Oh my god, that's so sick!
Shut up! What?
Are you
kidding me? He's gonna kill the SCVs repairing the bunker with the DT.
Oh, but he also should repair. He should. Oh my! He will target fire the another turret, so it will be so sick. He will lose the natural base.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me? Holy cow, this is so sick. He's gonna run into the main. Where are you gonna build your turrets there? Oh wait, nowhere, because the DT kills them all. I mean, honestly, if the DT is killing turrets, you know, he's not killing SCVs, but it only gets worse the more DTs start running it. Now there's one in the main, there's one in your natural. This is like relatives that come to visit. They just never leave. You can't get rid of them. He's gonna try to surround the Dark Templar, but he can't. The DT's too good. Oh my god, Bonyth. What a legend.
Oh, but Dandy is having a turret in the main base, so he should defend the main base at least. And this bunker is still holding on, so I don't know how Dandy is doing that. And look at that, he lifted the barracks just to not able Bonyth to click on the comsat station that he's building. It's also very smart move.
Yeah, but now there's a second DT coming in here. Look at it, this is too much damage. He's just losing so many workers. He actually, yeah, you can't kill the comsat scanner yet, but he's gonna kill the tanks. He's gonna target down one tank. He's gonna get the second tank here with the TTs.
It's even better. Oh, but one DT survives.
I mean, that's the scan though, right? He's only got one more scan left in the main. This is so crazy. He's also, by the way, had to repair this entire time and has no gas in his main, keep in mind. So he's not mining gas at all right now.
That's why he's building vultures. He's not having gas to... Oh my god, you're right. I didn't realize that, but he's forced to build vultures because of lack of gas. And Bonnie, in the same time, he's mining from the main base and he's going for the carriers. He's already having the one Stargate and he's building the fleet beacon.
Yeah, wow, I didn't realize he already had the fleet beacon halfway done, or more than halfway done. It's about to finish. And still, you have to keep repairing. Finally, though, gas is starting to come in, from the natural at least, main maybe soon to follow. And so we can start to get tanks coming up. But are tanks even what you want to build? Like, there's carriers on the way.
Yeah, it's 8-minute pressure and then immediately carriers. And then he just started to mine from his natural normally. I mean, he mined a lot because he was mining from... But he didn't mine from 2 minutes, 2 last minutes from his natural.
Oh, shuttle. Yes, he's going to pick up the DTs and drop them in the main. Man, does Bonyth just know every possible annoying way to play Protoss? Like, this is actually just the worst. Now you're just going to get DTs dropped in your main. They could actually focus down that turret if they're really careful. But actually, there's a second one coming up, so he might try to delay the second. I don't know. I think you just kill the depots in the top.
Yeah, you want to force as many scans as Dandy can, because if he will scan on top of DTs, he will not have scan to scan the carriers. It will be also very good for
Yeah, that's actually really true. He's gonna keep the shuttle up here, but he could actually try to work on those depots, or maybe, let's see, can you kill the SCVs in the natural? I guess you could. Yeah, there's no siege tank in the natural. There's actually no siege tech, right?
Yeah. Oh, there are only 2 tanks halfway done, but I don't think that Dandy is thinking about carriers right now. He's probably...
I mean, he's going to try to counterattack, but there's no way to deal damage on the other side of the map. And actually, Bonyth is going to take this third base on the high ground, which is kind of an interesting decision, because you can't wall it off from vultures.
Yeah, only a scan and few vultures can kill the probe line, but... And after seeing the shuttle, Dandy could suspect that. And you are right, he's killing the gas in the natural, so there was no tank and Boney found it with his game sense map hack.
How is that SCV out of turret range? That looks so close. This is crazy to me. He's having to repair it with... Man, just the repair cost alone this game has to be just absolutely massive.
I'm still waiting for the statistics. Oh my god, he just...
Oh, he picked it up! Stop it, Bonyth. You're what a jerk. He can actually go back and kill that turret that's being built right there if he wanted to. But I think Bonyth wisely recognizes his time's probably up there.
And 5 factories from Dandy, so if he will make Armory, he will not maybe be in terrible position, but he already is, I would say. But it's still a winnable position, maybe I would call it this way. Oh.
Yeah, let's see what these vultures can do. I don't think they're going to be able to accomplish a whole lot. Yeah, they're just going to get hunted down here by these Dragoons. But hey, you know, every time a Terran player is not dead, they're alive. So, you know, as rocket science as that is to say. Dandy does have 2 bases, which it seems like is all a Terran player ever really needs. And Dandy can actually do the same thing that Bonyth did and take this island third base if he wants to. He's going to try to go for a Vulture drop here, and I don't think this is actually going to be very effective. There are a lot of Dragoons in the natural because they're kind of stuck up on these pylons. So I think this will actually be totally fine unless he moves out with the Dragoons right as the drop comes in, which is exactly what's happening.
Yeah, but he might at least scout the carriers with the two vultures, so it should be fine for Dandy. And what will be his reaction? Look at Bonnie. He realized that the carriers might be scouted, so he moved them already towards the Dandy base because he wants to make a usage out of them as quickly as it's possible.
Well, they are going to get scouted right now. Yeah, that Vulture's going to see everything. So all of a sudden, alarm bells are going to start to go off in Dandy's head immediately. Although he does have an armory already done. He's getting the latest siege tech of all time, which is maybe not going to be incredibly effective against these carriers. But there's three carriers. They're hitting now.
With +1 already and +2 is 30% done. Speed for the observers too. Look at the production tab from Bonnie. He's having much better economy than Danny, so he's able to produce much more.
Yeah, and there's not enough turrets here. I think this is actually just going to kill him.
He will produce 5 Goliaths at the time, but against 4 core carriers, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, this is, I mean, +1 interceptors is just going to kill basically everything. Yeah, all those SCVs building. He realizes, I think, probably the biggest thing is the starport, so that's going to die. The carriers, you don't want to overextend out there because Goliaths can target these things down, but there's so many interceptors. He's got 8 interceptors on all 4 of these carriers now, and, well, this is going to be really rough. Yeah, there's just nothing here. It's all tanks and vultures in the front.
And he can snipe the tanks and then go with his ground army. This game looks so easy when Bonnie is playing. I don't know how he's doing that. But
one thing to kind of correct is that if you think that Dandy is either a bad player or playing badly, you're actually not corrected about that. Dandy is just absolutely one of the best players in the world. He's just like how do you deal with this? Like what you said, Zero, is so right. When you watch Dandy play, this game looks effortless. This game looks flawless. Stuff just works. Your Dragoons work, your Reavers work, everything's good as a Protoss, and it's too good. It's too good for Dandy to hold on against. Bonyth will take a 3-1 victory over Dandy to advance on to the BSL Season 6 semifinals. What a god.
That's so impressive. Yeah, to face Dandy in the round of 8 was very hard opponent, and he dealt with him. It wasn't easy, I'm sure, for him, but it looks so nice out of Bonnie. And now we will have Dewalt versus TrueTouch and Bonnie versus DragOn in round of 8 on Saturday.
Oh man, yeah. Dragon, or what is it? Is it? Hold on, let me see what happened. So I was comparing Bombastic Star League Season 5 to Season 6. So Season 5 champion was Eon Zerg. He's already out. Bonyth, TrueTouch are still in here, so they have the opportunity to be kind of 2-time champions, along with well, Dandy is not going to be in the tournament anymore. So realistically, outside of TrueTouch, who won the first 2 BSLs, only DeWalt actually has the chance to kind of go all the way and maybe try to win that again.
Yeah, you're right.
Man, Bonyth lost to Eon Zerg 2-4 in the last final. So now that Eon Zerg's out of the way, what can stop Bonyth's revenge?
I don't know, maybe Dewalt. But Dewalt is having hard time in the round of 4. TrueTouch, he who already beat him on the BSL6, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't predict any of these things. The only thing I can predict is that the games are going to be amazing, just like they were today. I kind of feel for Nyoken still losing for Dragon, but he actually talked about it on his stream immediately after the game. So if you want to go find the VOD and fast forward to whatever time that was. Yeah, he kind of talked about how kind of heartbreaking some of his losses were. He said he forgot some buildings and kind of had a bad unsiege or siege at one point. I don't blame him there. So, yeah, congratulations to Dragon and Bonyth, both of the Protoss players advancing today.
Oh, is it weird? Is it Imba? I hate this word, but yeah, but
maybe. But they all played very, very well. But I just got to give it to Bonyth for just playing such a unique series. Loved watching, loved casting that, and I'm going to continue to love watching both of those players play in the semifinals. BSL Season 6 coming up next week. So if you want to keep an eye on all the BSL stuff, follow Bombastic Star on Twitter, and of course follow the Twitch channel here, or just go to bombasticstarleague.com for all of the playoff information.
Yeah, and you can also follow Mr. Rapid, who is a very professional caster. He's living in Korea, and now he's sacrificing himself. It's probably around 7 a.m. in Korea right now, and he's
6:30.
casting 6:30. Yeah, so he's casting all night. So don't forget to go follow him. He was casting the $240,000 tournament in China last week.
Yeah.
So that's how you can say that he is a professional caster. So don't forget to go and follow him. And as Mr. Rapid said, next week on Saturday we will have semifinals, and on Sunday we will have grand finals. So it's the last week of BSL. Next Sunday and next Saturday are 2 last days of BSL6. So don't forget to be there, because it will be very exciting.
Yep. All right. Thank you once again for having me on BSL. Thanks to everybody for watching. We held like 400 viewers all day, 500 yesterday. So spread the word that BSL is out there, and make sure to tune in next week for the semifinals.
Yeah, don't forget to be there. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.